What is going on, everybody? Antonius the Gamer here with Super SSS Rank. This is the
Yup.
Press Start Select podcast. Now, I mean, we're gonna kind of walk the dog a little bit into the really big gaming news for tonight because it's gonna take a little minute. So we're gonna get some things out the way. Things that are not necessarily good news, but is news. One of the things I had on the docket that I wanted to kind of just address early on, Jory, if you have any experience with this person, you feel free to chime in. I want to start off by saying rest in peace to PS360 HD2. Now, for those who don't know, he was a YouTuber who has been around since the forums days of like before Reddit became the thing of like the forum for everybody. There used to be a website called Sane Islands where all the Naruto Storm stuff and all the new Dragon Ball games would kind of like leak initially. And PS360, he was one of those first people who like adopted the whole anime content creator formula. Like he's there, his run is about as legendary as like Rhyme Style and the people like that have been doing it for a long time. Um, I'm still not clear. I don't know if they'll ever like address what caused it. From what I can gather, he was having some ongoing health issues. But he ended up passing away, I think, within like the past 2 weeks.
Mm.
No, I think if I remember correctly, he passed away. I think like the second week of June, and then they announced his passing about 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
So I just wanted to do a quick rest in peace to him because there was countless videos of his that I've watched over the years. He would be the first one to he would do like the upscales of some of the older games that were on like the PS2 or the games that didn't come to America. So all like the Naruto games that had like all the beautiful eye candy specials before they got here, he had it in like 1080p, 60 frames per second, just for the anime fans. He was a man of the culture in terms of like
Mm.
the things that we
Mm.
came to enjoy. And also his channel also had like one of the sickest outros I have ever seen in my life. I'll send it to you after the pod. It's
Okay.
just one of those things where it's like you could tell. You know what I'm saying? You could like you
Yeah,
just know
you
like
know.
this is a brother. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
don't
know.
even have to
Okay.
guess who is behind this username. I know, so
Okay. Okay.
rest in
Man.
peace to that man. I just definitely wanted to address that and shout that out and thank you for your contributions to the community, and we will hold it down in your steed. I didn't, unfortunately, obviously, we didn't get a chance to know him personally, but it's like you kind of feel like by proxy you grew up or spent some of your adult years with him. Like that's kind of how I felt. Like man, like he's just been around for a minute. So R.I.P. Now before we get into some of the bigger topics, let's address some of the smaller things. So this year is the 10-year anniversary of Batman Arkham Knight. 2015, the last good Batman game came out on the PS4, Xbox One generation, and kind of capped off the trilogy, although technically it's the fourth entry in that series of the Arkham series. What are your thoughts on the 10 years of Arkham Knight? What has been your experience with that game?
Of course, it was I put that up there. I put the Arkham series up there with the games you didn't know you needed. You wanted, but you didn't know how it would come about. I'll give you an example. Spider-Man, uh for the play, I'll even go far as the PS1
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
games. And then Spider-Man the movie game that we like we didn't ask for this, but thank you.
Yeah.
Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Like Wolverine Origins. Very surprising games that were like beyond you just like, these people really, this game is fire,
Yeah. You could tell
right?
somebody
So
cares. Someone behind
somebody
this cares.
cared. Like
Yeah.
all Hulk Ultimate Destruction dropped out of nowhere. There was like one trailer,
No
and
movie
we just see we just
tie-in. Nothing. Yeah.
we just see the
Nothing.
shot. We just see the Hulk cover. I like, all right, I'll grab it. Let's play. And that wind up be when I say that wind up becoming Saturday morning cartoon game.
Yeah. A classic. Certified
Man,
banger. Yeah.
critical mass. You get to choose between the slam, the
The
clap,
clap. Yeah.
the boxing gloves, the ball and chain. Now you got Hulk acting like he's a Chinese swordsman, like with the wrecking ball. I say it's along those lines of one of those games we didn't know we needed. So when Arkham came when the Batman Arkham game came out, I was like, yo, the fighting combat, this is
Hmm.
different.
Mm-hmm.
This is thought about. And then now the way they actually fulfilled I knew I was Batman. So for me, those games were that's where I went ranked those games. And of course, Arkham 2 dropping, which is Arkham
Arkham
City, right?
City. Yep.
And I
Undeniable.
think undeniable, man, undeniable game. The conversations, and then normally with the gaming route, they'll never choose the voice actor that we're used to. But these guys are like, yo, why would we go with anybody else? Kevin Conroy is we have to use Kevin Conroy.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And then after now with that game, you're playing it. You the you can just feel the passion in the team behind it. And like, yo, this team came out of nowhere and they dropped a Batman game. And now here we are. Now Batman has influenced and changed the way other games, superhero
Yeah,
games
the
play as
free
well.
flow combat
Like
system is
free flow combat is
revolutionary.
revolutionary. I still, prefer my combos, but you can do so much with this, and it makes sense for Batman to fight that way. And so my favorite Arkham game is probably Arkham City. I also like Arkham Knight. I just didn't enjoy the villain um as much.
Yeah,
So that
and
was
that's not a controversial take. I think most people
yeah.
I think some of the critiques out when it originally dropped was a little harsh. Or like, yes, I get it. The Arkham Knight was obviously who it was. Like it wasn't. It was one of the worst kept secrets in the game. Of like, this is clear as day who this
And his
is.
design didn't quite make any sense to me.
Not
Like, this is a
really.
Metal Gear Solid villain. What are we
Yeah,
doing?
it was a
Um
cool costume, but it was just like I know who you are. There's not enough here to like differentiate you from who you know.
yeah, and that was I would have taken to be if I'm this is just me because I my mind goes there. I always try to like, yo, is this the most perfect it could have been? I would have gone with uh loosely copying um Bane Bane's motives from the Dark Knight movie.
Oh, okay,
I would have loosely copied that. I
okay.
think that would have made more sense. And Bane being the final villain would I think I would have taken that.
They already used them for 2 games prior.
They did use him for 2 games prior. But that's just me. Another villain they
It's
could have done. I would have enjoyed the courts of. I would have joined Ra's al Ghul, but the Rocksteady inspired version of the not Courts of Owl without what we got
okay
previously.
because
Like
I'm
so
like,
that you
yeah,
know what I'm
like
saying. That's what I would have. No, not that version. Not
okay,
that version. Or you could have just done Ra's al Ghul from the classic Adventures of Batman, and you would have been fine.
yeah. I think to shoot them a little bit of bail, even though I do think Scarecrow was ultimately not the best decision for the big bad for Arkham Knight. Arkham City didn't leave a lot on the table because you did Hugo Strange, you did Bane again, you did Mr. Freeze in one of the best boss battles ever in existence. If he learns from the gadgets you use against him, you can't use the same gadget on him twice. Um, the what's it called? Racious people are involved. You fight tall. Like there's so many like references that's like it's hard. You know what I'm saying? There's a part in Arkham City where you literally punch a shark in the face, and it's not corny. You're like this is actually kind of fire, So I think it put Arkham City in this weird place where like yes, it still could have worked. I think there were certain things where I'm like, I don't know why you decided that a boss battle against Deathstroke of all people would be in a tank of all things. But I think in terms of like, yeah, kind of rogues gallery wise, you hit every single target last game. Every single target. All of the 90s villains we remembered were in that game. If anything, maybe the Arkham Knight should have been the big bad. and Scarecrow kind of be like the villain leading up to it, because it's like him kind of working semi alongside Scarecrow, and then the whole Joker subplot. It's like there's a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm chasing down Firefly,
though,
Man
yeah,
Bat.
those are my favorites, man. After that, everything else, mechanics wise, is better. Like Origins, the mechanics, the fighting,
I think
but
Knight has the best mechanics,
yeah.
better than
I mean, as far as gadgets, the gadgets are more interesting for me. I think that some of the gadgets were interesting, but they were like, wait, this gadget's a little more
yeah,
futuristic than,
yeah. Which is why Origins always like the fans don't accept it as canon, because it's like, but he had these gauntlets that he could have just never used again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the concept was fire. That's one of my favorite CGI trailers
Mhm.
ever. They all put a hit on Batman.
Yeah.
Uh, man,
I don't think Arkham
fire.
Origins is a bad game whatsoever.
No, it's not. But I just hate prequels in a way. Like
Yeah.
if it's not, especially it's hard to do a prequel with something like Batman. Well, like then do start off with the prequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just start off with the prequel, man, and don't because now it's like, okay, guys, we're on contract. Let's drop this 17th album that we didn't know was coming out, and it happens to be just reskins of songs that just didn't quite because this person wants to get out of their contract.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like with Origins. Even though it was good, and then goes downhill from there.
It does quickly. Just like it's my quick thoughts on Knight. I think Knight, it's they're just I think the game franchise is another one of those casualties of poor management behind the scenes, where
Mm,
like we should have been on Arkham 5 or Arkham 6 of one of somehow getting even better, because even if you replay Knight, it's just like you could tell again that there was a concentrated effort to make you feel more and more like Batman with every game. So by the time
yeah,
you get to Night, not only are you dodging baseball bats now, you're catching them, snapping them in half, hitting. You know what I'm saying? Like chucking one person to the other. You're spinning around, and as you're spinning around, you're putting a gadget on someone's back. You had the
you can
you can
interrogate.
interrogate them.
I love that.
Yeah, you had the fair takedown where you drop a smoke pellet and everyone's like, "It's bad!" Ah, ah, and he's just wow, 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 wow. Puts you into a cutscene in real
And
time.
oh man, you know what I loved about the Batman games? It were giving me that 1930s goon,
Mm.
1950s Tommy gun wielding.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the bat comes out at night. No. You
Yeah,
think, Drew? Yeah, I'm just saying. It's dark. Why?
yeah.
Well, why does the bat show up in broad daylight?
You
That'd be
put
more
Tommy in the
convenient for us.
hospital for 2 months last time.
Hey, I heard Tommy can't use his right leg anymore. Uh, the Batman took it as a souvenir, I guess. I mean, I'm like, and then some of them conversations is dark.
Hmm?
I'm like, yo, hey, did you see that lady? The one you got in your basement? Yeah,
Yeah,
she was a real doozy. I'm like, yo. I said, nah, I gotta
yeah,
talk to you
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, boy. Yeah, I
It's a
think,
real shame what happened to David. Joker told a joke and he didn't laugh, and Joker didn't find that funny.
oh,
Like you just hear conversations like that, you're like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. And I think the Riddler challenges.
Eh,
No, I like them.
overstayed their welcome.
I think that no, I think they could have revamped. I think I really saw something there. They could have if they did it correctly to where now it's like it's not just challenges but like death games in a way,
They did
which
a
some of
little
them
bit
were,
of that, but
but
it was more
that could
challenges
have
than anything else. Yeah.
definitely hey, Batman, why don't you save the hostage? Da 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 da. Where the stakes are high,
Hmm.
I would have been all for it, man.
I
But yeah, so
mm.
far, to be honest with you, I just wanted the Batman Beyond game.
I was gonna ask that as like the final question of the segment. Now that the leaks have come out with the render art, they had the old Bruce Wayne, a grown up Damian as Batman Beyond. Like, do you think that original vision for a Batman Beyond game would have worked or could have worked?
I would have taken that. I would have taken that because you can do and introduce so much. I don't think I think a Damian Batman Beyond that's an interesting concept, man.
Mm,
Don't get me wrong. Terry McGinnis is always gonna be
A1.
A1. Like you
Solid
can't, you can't,
protagonist.
you
Yeah.
can't. That's probably where I'd be conflicted.
Mm,
Uh, because it's just and then the actor's still here. So like, please,
Yeah,
like
utilize them.
get Sean Matthews, man. Go get
Yeah.
Sean Matthews to play the voice of Terry McGinn. I had no idea it was him. When I
Mm,
found out, I said, man, that's fine. Yeah, but side note, yeah, I think I would love a Batman Beyond anything, man. That rogue gallery, bruh, who knew? And then some of the storylines was just,
extremely dark.
oh, but
They're good, but
they were good. Yeah,
extremely like
yeah, they
you could
were.
tell that they were trying to get a little bit more mature towards the end of the Batman animated series. Batman Beyond like did not. It's like yeah, he wanted to date Ink, and now he looks like that, and that is it for him.
Harsh
Or
lessons, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Mister
no,
Freeze is immortal, and he hates it. He wants to go. He's ready to go, and he can't.
yeah. I mean, and then I would just love to see some of the revamped enemies done through the early teams of Rocksteady.
Mm,
I think with Batman Beyond, you can do so much more, man. And then like you can get away with extraterrestrial combat. You can put the Green Lantern in this time because Batman is super formidable.
yeah.
Batman Beyond is significant. It's a tech suit.
Mm.
Before it's a tech suit. So I would have loved that, man. And then could you imagine all the Mattel Batman Beyond toys, inspired costumes? Rocksteady of the early would have definitely done that.
Yeah, I think base because you had put it in the group chat. I think from what I remember, it was the Montreal team that would have been working on this game. So basically, the Arkham Origins team would have been working on the Batman Beyond
I
game.
would have, I would have, I would have taken that.
Again, I'm
Yeah,
an Arkham Origins defender. I
yeah,
think it's a perfectly fine game. It just
yeah,
perfectly fine. It's a
yeah.
little
It's
glitchy,
just,
but
yeah.
in terms of like a game, it's like, oh well, it's not like City. I'm like, Night's not like City. I still like Night.
And then me being able to fly in that jet, ooh, that was my favorite toy at Burger King, dog. Dude, that the bat, what was it called?
I don't even remember.
But the flying car.
Yeah.
Man, that would have been a. I mean, that's my favorite genre, to be honest with you. The cyberpunk era, dystopian future. I just love I just love because it's like it almost does what games in the old time does as far as the morale. Like it all matters. Everything matters. Like outlawism is just as powerful as the government.
Mm,
It's very hard to control anything. So it's really that there's always a way to get around the system in a way.
yeah.
And I just like that there's no certainty with certain things, and and certain patterns actually play itself out over time that you're like, yo, this is gonna turn into this eventually.
Mm,
So get rid of, and I like that. I like those concepts that you can explore. Hey, yo, am I really human if I got this cybernetic arm and 90% of my body and except my heart is still flesh? These concepts, that what it is, what does it mean to be human? These things are
yeah.
cool concepts I like to explore over and over again, man,
Yeah.
because it never gets old, and it's almost very present even as we
Yeah,
go now.
as
And
we're
of
heading
course
into
we're gonna
things as it is now, like we're
and
seeing a future that it's added to the long list of things millennials have lived through. We are going through yet another tech revolution.
we actually are going through a Skynet, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we definitely will dive into it later with the 9,000,
Mm,
over 9,000. Well, man, that
sheesh.
man had his scouter on, boy, for that one. But anyway,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
back to Batman Beyond and the 10 legacy of Arkham games. I mean, you were Batman. You were voiced by Kevin Conroy, and in the long run, it bit itself in the butt because that last Rocksteady game killed everything, all of that momentum. So, in my opinion,
yeah. I mean,
story
I don't know
wise,
if
and
they
then
can. I don't know if a reboot would be the next route to take because the thing is, it's also not the same Rocksteady team. So we know for a
it's
fact they're
not.
working on another Batman. I'm just like, I don't even know what that means these days. I don't know what that
Just do
means.
Batman. Just do Batman Beyond, because it's a redundancy because now you have to do a Batman Beyond because this. I mean, it won't hurt Batman as much, the brand,
Mm,
if you do Batman Beyond.
mm.
Just like I don't care for no Superboy. If you were to do a Superboy game, you think I'd care? Like
Ah,
it wouldn't. I would care, and it wouldn't really. It wouldn't really affect the brand because we know that's not Superman.
Yeah,
right?
but
It probably in the long run be a better game because of durability,
right,
more
he can be
interesting
hurt. Yeah,
villains.
yeah, yeah.
He can be hurt, which is why I don't understand why they didn't do an invincible game. They wanted to do a fighting game, but okay, gotcha. Let us do the thinking for you.
Right, right, right.
Um, when Chat GPT away, like just use it. Just use it. Chat GPT will give you the same answers I'm giving you, man. I asked them to do a crossover between Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Solid. That was the most interesting forms of dialogue I was ever reading. I said, "Oh man, this is fire. Let me recycle to see what else
Right,
you
right.
can do."
And this is just ChatGPT hitting the compilation
I
button.
just hit it. Hey, what happens if Leon Kennedy's in the mix? It's a recycle. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah, yeah,
oh
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens next. I hope that it's not something where it's added to the long list of casualties. Just again due to mismanagement. Like I hope there's a way they can kind of redeem themselves. Obviously, the bones of what makes a good Batman game are always going to kind of be with that team. I just, I think again, given the 10 years of Arkham Knight, I still think it's a solid game. You can get the whole game in the DLC for like $10. It's a
yeah,
good game, pretty decent DLC. Yeah, a little bit too much Batmobile, but you can't have everything, right? And not everything's gonna be a 10 out of 10 banger. It's fine, right? Like, not everything's gonna be the bloody Batman cover in black and white, like from Game Inform. Like it can't always be a 10 for 10 for 10. We all know that we
man,
like the Dark Knight more than Dark Knight Rises. It happens. You know what
my
I'm saying?
goodness,
It happens, you
my
know?
good. Could you imagine what if you finally get to use the other Bat vehicles?
I mean, nowadays that would have been the next. That's what I'm saying. We should be on Arkham Knight 6. We should be, but we not. Yeah, but let's move on to some of the other news that had transpired since we last recorded. Now there was an incident through a recent patch for Nintendo's Mario Kart World, where, from what I understand, Mario Kart World was allowing players to pick the next track after completing a race. So you do your 3 laps, whoever's the winner, yada yada yada. You guys take a vote online for the next track. The players then drive off towards that track.
Hmm.
From what I understand, Nintendo was caught by surprise because that's not how they anticipated the game to be played. Where they made these intermediary tracks where you're essentially again racing to get to the race, and they
Hmm.
were surprised that no one was picking them. So they put in a patch that forces the players to still take the intermediary track before they get to the next race, and people were upset. And I was surprised because I'm like, again, let's not forget this is the same company that pretty much told you you're leasing the console you're about to buy. You don't think they're going to tell you how to play your game? But what do you think about like the way Mario Kart World is already being handled a month in?
In the words of Dave Chappelle, gotcha.
Sheesh.
Because yeah, like
People's
I don't
consoles already
care.
not working.
Hey, that's
Joy-Cons
good.
already drifting.
Hey, look.
The
Hey,
magnets
drift,
falling
yeah.
off.
That's a great commercial for Mario Kart. You want to drift? Go ahead and get the switch. It's like, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I don't care. I don't care. Like good. Like what's the announcement from Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Good decision. Good. Yeah, excellent. Good. Yeah. Like that, yo, please clip that. That gotta be we gotta use that as for voice whatever voiceover. Good. Yeah, like cause yeah, I think this is what you get. Now you see, the Switch 2 is gonna be great. Oh, yeah. And now the kid they go ahead, they put on that bison hat and shadow the game.
Yep. And look, I
So
mean, again, we talked about this during the Rest Mode Lounge, which people should check out, by the way, if you haven't already. But it's one
yeah.
of those things where it's like the Switch 2 will get there at some point, right? I'm sure by the time the OLED model drops, things will kind of been ironed out a little bit more. I haven't really had any issues with my OLED Switch. I've had it for some time now, but again, you've got whoever was in a rush to get the Switch 2, you essentially got the new iPhone. The iPhone on launch day. And as we know, up until, I mean, granted, Apple's a lot better now, but there used to be a time where you got that iPhone day one, you're going to be in the Genius Bar in about 2 weeks. Thanks for testing our beta.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, I mean, I'm not. I like it's sad, but that's the console game. That's the console you don't have to get day one. And which is not good to me. I don't think it's a good thing at all. Like I don't have to keep up with the times with the console. I could just literally wait probably 2 years, and I'll be satisfied with the pro version or the which I feel like they're gonna do this time around.
Oh, for sure.
Pro OLED, and then yes, you can do more specs. Okay, I'll be fine with that. Yeah, I'll play that version. But at the same time, it's one of those consoles I don't even have to buy out the gate. I won't buy out the gate
Yeah.
because I don't see anything worth it to me. As far as the consumer company relations, you're telling me you don't care about me. You're telling me like, no, we don't want you to add any extra toppings on your ramen noodles. Just have it raw. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. We wanted you to use the curry sauce that came with it. How dare you use an alternative or a homemade version of your curry or a homemade version of your sauce or a chicken stock, whatever. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I like again, man. We kind of knew this was happening. Like once they said they could brick your console, where did you think it was gonna
What
go,
did you
man?
think was gonna happen next?
You will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
Like, and now, like, they won't even let you play the games you want to play your way.
Uh-huh.
Um, Listen, I say this time and time again. I understand FOMO is very powerful, but I also see a rise in like people being fed up. It's like it's not like
It's
how it
not too
used to
far
be.
behind, yeah.
People thought CD Projekt Red was invincible. What happened? People thought EA was invincible. Now people are petitioning for this guy. Like, yo, listen, either get this guy out or we'll remove him ourselves.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really like the people are like up to here because now they're being more conscious of the business language.
Yes. Yes.
So if I'm talking right, if I'm talking this way, and the Gen Z behind me is hearing this, I'm like, wait, you had to pay what for what? And then what? And prices are only going up. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I play this game?
No disagreement here. I
Why
think
should I play this game? Why are you surprised that nobody's playing games anymore? You cut them out.
yes.
You They can't afford it.
We're
They
gonna give
can't
you
save enough
less,
money.
pay more, and like you said, we're gonna give you nothing, and I want you to like it. What? What? Why would I continue to subscribe to that business model? I gain nothing from this. Like, I honestly feel like because again, like we go over the topics, whatever. I was thinking about the topics. I'm like, this just is a generation that's gonna probably go down in the history of like there are. I feel like PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox should be thanking God that PC parts went up in price over the pandemic. If PC prices had stayed steady, it would have been a wrap.
You mean for $500, I can get a PC that could run games at 200 frames per second in 4K? Well, if you play for premium, you mean that's just standard? Yeah, you can get it in 8K. Right now, they're experiencing with 16K. Well, what do you think?
Oh man, I got my
And
Switch too, but these battery issues. A Steam Deck owner, battery issues. Can you just lower the frame rate and get a little more battery? Lower the
you
customization
mean to tell
options
me I added an extra 8 hours to my battery life?
just by running in
Scott, thank you.
720p.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know. And in fact, I'll tell you a deeper secret. Most games are rendered in 720p. Yeah.
They just upscaled
Let's
them.
go. They're just upscale. So you actually won't be you losing any quality in visuals. I didn't know. Hey, you worried about the settings? There's this third-party app that adjusts the settings and makes it a lot simpler. Just turn this on and run your games through that. The flexibility is It's like I can literally create a solar system
Yeah.
with life replicating to life on Earth with the problems that life comes with
Yeah.
Earth.
Again, they should be thanking God.
but I
that
think
4090 costs what it costs because it would have
people are
been
gonna make
done.
people are making the
No,
sacrifice,
no, no.
man.
Yeah,
People,
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna future proof myself. I'm gonna get it in. Yeah,
all it takes, to be honest with you, if they wanted to, all it would take, whatever company decides to do it, they say, yo, listen, this is the console, and these are interchangeable parts. We got you covered with the schematics. We got you covered with the OS. If you want to upgrade, you can always upgrade later, and we'll have a sale eventually.
would make sense. These consoles are basically glorified PCs anyway.
And it's getting to the point, which is good in my opinion, because now it's like you don't have a reason to exist anymore, kind of. Like I'm not, you do and you don't, because it's like, well, we can just get this. If I put on my straw hat, call Shanks
But
and
even
the rest of my
but
boys.
even besides that, right? Besides putting on your straw hat, we're seeing now, and that's why I said they whew, because you gotta look at it now. The window between console exclusive and PC releases are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. One of the topics we're gonna talk about tonight is about the exclusivity of fighting games. Of like the days of 3-4 years ago, maybe Tokon Fighting Souls comes out as a PS5 only game. Not today. Never again. PS5 and PC day one. We need those sales now.
Yeah. I mean, the trade-off and the advantage I would say is that it's harder to deal with cheating.
For sure.
It's harder to deal with cheating on a PC, right? But um like it's getting to the point where it's just blurring out, because if my PC can do this and you're charging me as much as a PC, it would come down to your steps of service. And I don't see you providing better steps of service. You're providing better services for me. I don't see you providing better service for me. It would come down to your service. I would not believe that you could providing a service that's better, or where I could just learn this, just like I could like learn my car and not have to go to a mechanic.
Yeah.
An oil change? Oh, okay. Well, if you get a Toyota, oil changes are a lot simpler because they make everything outside and not hidden in, compared to the German cars,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So I think that learning curve, and then to be honest with you, the settings are going to get a lot simpler, man.
Every day.
But that's all dependent on how, whatever. Some people don't even use Microsoft anymore. They use a simpler version of
Yeah,
Linux,
yeah,
and
Linux.
then they call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a day. And if one day Apple decides to get in that, and then decides that like this will be our most liberated area to where we don't have as much restrictions for this device itself, bro. Like I'm good, and I get to buy this along with my phone. Yo, take my money,
Mm.
right? I know your hardware is going to be top notch, and then I could just trade this in later, like it's over.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just saying if a company ever decides to do that, you have put a lot of threats, man. If they decide to if Amazon one day decides to make a PC, go into the tech
No,
industry,
for sure. I
you
think
feel me? It's
like, and
just
for people who
it's
might
all
think we were
money.
getting a little bit off topic, we're not. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
no, but we're not, because I think that's the thing. That's the difference, right? I think, and I want to be careful with my words because I don't think it's a thing for Nintendo to trailblaze or die, right? I don't think that's how they needed to be. It doesn't again. I wasn't expecting the Switch 2 to turn into a Rubik's cube, right? That's like ridiculous. But I think in that 7 years between consoles, like you have now opened the door to some legit competition where the younger people aren't really buying consoles like that. So it's people in our age group who are a lot more tech savvy because we had to go through the trenches of figuring things out, playing games on your dad's computer growing up or whatever the case may be. And it's like, again, there's enough tutorials out there in the world of like, I could really learn this if I want to. You saw the other day, I'm sitting here playing Mega Man Legends. Not a frame dropped. Took about 20 minutes on YouTube. Like it's just one of those things that's like you gotta it's not as we're PlayStation, we're Xbox, we're Nintendo. It's like you're rolling the dice a little bit too much on your
Yeah,
name.
yeah. And we don't even have to wait for you to drop the game. Somebody will take your game and take it off the bare bones. And then now with AI technology, could you imagine if I just turn this on, copy and paste your game, then I go into the animation and tweak it?
Hmm.
Like it's crazy, man.
I was watching a video
So
essay the other day. Some of the best version of the Pokemon games are made by fans.
I'm not surprised. You're dealing with a collective consciousness that's gonna rival 10 CEOs in a company who have no love for games, who are being funded by people who don't understand the games.
Mm,
I do think this is what's gonna happen, right? Those guys that have the money, and I do think it's gonna happen because I'm seeing it with artists now. They're becoming the businessmen.
yeah.
That's what always needed to happen. That's
Mm,
why, you know what I'm saying, you're going to lose if you're not a business person. If you're not an actor who can direct, you're going to be you have to.
you have
It's
to. No,
just it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's just you're giving yourself more room to survive. Do you see even basketball players, they're hybrids now.
Hmm.
It doesn't make any sense to be one stick guy. You got guys who can bat and pitch. You have to. You
Yeah.
don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You got wide receivers that can just almost, if not, they're the second string
Yeah.
quarterback in certain cases.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You got quarterbacks that are running
Yeah.
backs. And especially if they got the build, man, they're gonna take it to the shoulder. Like,
Hmm.
yo, but
No, I no pushback.
I just think like right now things are becoming. You were relying on people not wanting to do the extra steps of learning, and now
Yes.
people are like, "Oh, you forced me into a corner," and now I'm a rabid dog.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait on this company to give me a good game. Like, look at what's happening to the second community. Like, if it's a give and take. It's a give and take. If we feel we don't want to be here, we don't feel like giving you our money.
Yeah.
You know, we all know this is a luxury. Like, why are we making this so hard? Why are we making this so complicated?
Yeah.
The investors, once people find out the IP addresses of the investors, yo, hey, bro, you suck. Leave. We won't buy your game, you know?
Hmm.
I'm just and I think like the lines being blurred, like how these companies are treating the like, how the companies are treating the customers is just, yeah, to me is it's gonna stop, man. That stuff is dystopian. Movies also reflect companies just being
No.
torn down. Companies that thought they were
Yeah,
invincible,
no, for sure. And I
you
think just
know.
in closing, just to kind of keep the topic moving a little bit forward, like I
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
I do think, because you said this a lot too with all the fighting games, which I think is valid, of like you guys are underestimating the power of a well written video essay. You're underestimating a history behind the warrior for your lore. You're underestimating this person who's going to give you a 45-minute deep dive with memes, clips, cutaways, jokes, metaphors about how this company was ran way better 10 years ago when so and so was in charge. And you can't just sit there and be like, well, we're just, everybody loves us. It's like, no, everybody loved you. They loved you until you did this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So
You bring up an interesting point, and we'll go from this. People are now following the teams
yes,
that brought made that
yes.
possible. Not so much the company. I don't care anything about EA right now. I just know that CEO that's on top had a 10-year reign of just creating oblivion.
Mm,
And all of a sudden, as a desperation, now they finally want to do NCAA because now they have to pay the players.
yep.
And it wind up becoming one of their biggest successes. The people told you what they wanted
A long time ago.
years ago. And so now you're here, but people are now following because once I found out so and so was on board for Halo, his results showed
Mm,
Halo Infinite was a far more better game to bear.
mm,
Was a lot more bearable. Now Halo Infinite, if you didn't know, the rest of the story is going to be told in a book.
sure, sure. Given to what we're gonna get into later on, I that's why I'm like, let's get the other topics out the way, because I am burning with a
Cue,
passion.
cue the Vince McMahon music, dog. A no chance. Cue it, dog, because it's
Burning with
like,
a passion of I just do not
yeah.
understand.
All
But
right.
let's
Next
see what else
topic,
we
man.
got before
Next
we
topic.
get into it proper. Let's see what else do I got here. Okay, what are your thoughts on the creator of Sonic Adventure saying that he has no active desire to want to remake one or two. He'd rather make another Sonic event or something within the spirit of Sonic Adventure. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm okay with that.
I'm I'm a little bit torn. I can already I can see it. I understand because of course obviously you can tell that Sonic Frontiers is like where they're looking to go. They want to go into open world Sonic and really flesh that out. But it's kind of like I mean, you remade Generations. Why not?
Y- Um, I think he always probably wanted an open world Sonic game.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because now you get somebody like this is probably gonna be a stretch, but I think it's connected. Like you see somebody like Kojima's doing what he wants to do,
Is he?
right? And people are connecting with him,
Mm.
right? He's able to like to be honest with you, he created a new genre of video game in a way. Um,
No, he did.
and
Social Network, the game.
I think his game on a deep concept is very therapeutic, and people didn't know that they needed something like this.
It's
A
it's
lot of the
a it's a
games,
cozy game doing the fusion dance with Metal Gear Solid. It's not for nothing.
it's not for nothing,
Yeah.
but this is what those years of Metal Gear Solid allowed him to finally create. And you know, as
Well,
an
before you
artist,
before you get into that, let's finish the Sonic topic.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, yeah, we're gonna go to Sonic. Like, so I think he probably feels the same way. Like, you know what, man, I finally get to make the Sonic game I always wanted to make.
Hmm.
And seeing the movies probably ignited him a little bit more, you know. Seeing like actors that he never thought would portray his creation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
now he's just seeing it in a whole different light. That inspiration at his age, that's a good feeling to feel.
Hmm.
Hey man, let's try something new. He doesn't he always like I'll even go to Halo. Halo always wanted to make their games open world. They always wanted Master Chief to have that liberty of going across Halo. They just were limited to technology.
Yeah, by the
They
software for
always
sure.
wanted Master Chief to run like a Spartan. They were limited to technology. People take that limitation and box them in as that's the concept of what the creator wanted to make.
Hmm.
No, you were just limited. Do you think if Kojima could make Metal Gear Solid one move like five, he wouldn't have? He
I
would
mean,
have.
yeah, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He would have. So that's the thing with what people have to understand about these creators. Look at Dark Souls, look at Elden Ring. You have a horse. He always wanted to have a horse.
Hmm.
He just couldn't do it. Yo. He
And
always wanted to have
he also refuses to get everybody the same thing twice. He refuses.
refuses. Like, yo, no, I'll give you the same thing, but with a newer,
Yeah.
better vision.
Hmm.
If I'm gonna be real with you, Elden Ring is the 13th chapel painting.
Hmm.
Say what you. Oh yeah, Dark Souls is no. Get lost. Elden Ring. That experience that I experienced playing the game, dog, was like that in Monster Hunter World. That brought me back to when I first started playing Resident Evil 4.
Hmm.
These games are on like my Mount Rushmore, Sonic Adventure Battle 2. Like just to tie it back in, I think I want to see him express himself. I want to see I'm I, and then it's a fingers crossed because we don't know who this person is at this time. Same thing,
Yeah. That's
right?
the other part where, again, out of respect, rest in peace. We've seen what Toriyama looks like unchecked.
Yeah,
We probably didn't need him to have as much creative freedom as he ended up having in the later half of his career.
yeah, yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Um,
Not to be
yeah,
disrespectful anyway. Like you can tell sometimes like even Kojima, I'm okay with all these things you want to do. Get an editor in here.
yeah, yeah. No, no. We
Just get an
definitely,
editor.
yeah,
That's all I need you to do.
yeah,
I'm not telling you to change your format, your genre. Just get an editor in here, please. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
when you put it that way, I'm like, I'm on board. I'm on board. I think it's good that Sega or the people that are in charge of Sega aren't just strictly focusing on the rehashes. We're again, fingers crossed that a lot of these things that they're trying to do, Virtua Fighter wise, Sonic Racing wise, like they're trying to innovate. Some of the things I'm a little, I'm like Minecraft Steve and Sonic, Hatsune Miku and Sonic. I'm like, I sure. but it's
Maybe not for us, but Minecraft Steve means a lot. The
he
Minecraft movie
does.
proved it.
Oh, he
He
does.
means a lot to these kids,
Yeah,
man.
he does.
So,
People went crazy when he showed up in Smash Brothers. I couldn't understand it.
I mean, I just don't think you're gonna beat a name called Steve. All the Steves that I know are fire. All of the Steves that I know are just automatically raw people.
Mm,
Steve Fox,
fair enough.
Steve Irwin.
Fair enough.
Like it's you just can't once you call the person Steve, it's over.
Yeah.
If the girl
Man,
you
Steve
love
Urkel.
ex was with Steve and he had two forms, kid, and one in both of them,
Yep.
two dime pieces at the time, feel
Myra
me?
was fired.
And loved him for who
He was.
he was, with the body of a video vixen. Like you
Yeah, no.
okay, you
Good
feel
point.
me?
Good point.
You
Good
feel me?
point.
Like I think that's where he is. I don't think he's gonna go off the rails like like some of our favorite creators because they were in deep trauma. Kojima was going through some stuff, right? So
I think Kojima is still going through some stuff.
still going through some stuff. I mean, as far as with his,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
with the
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, with Konami and whatnot. But this is his rehabilitating game. I'm glad to see him having. This is the most happy. He's on Twitter every day posting about like, dog, I'm eating this food today. I'm
I
like,
just
man,
saw this movie. I'm hanging out with Jordan Peele tomorrow. We're gonna like. We could talk about Death Stranding too, real quick. I think it's interesting because, to your point, there's reports. I don't know if they're verified, so I'm speaking about this very carefully because it could be
hmm
off, like a lot of these reports
hmm
are.
hmm
That Death Stranding 2 is not selling as well as Death Stranding has. It's not on track
mm
to sell as well. But when
hmm
I look at the online reports of how people are enjoying or taking in the game, I should say, even the people that don't like it. Whether it be, I'm not so crazy about the story, it seems a little bit all over the place, but the world he's crafted, but the Decima engine and how it's being utilized, the way he's making this feel like a current gen experience, the homages to Metal Gear Solid as a franchise hidden within the game. I, I
I
can't
think it's
hate
gonna
on that,
do.
that energy, I should say.
So I think it's gonna grow as fast as your Goat Simulator game.
Mm,
It's gonna grow it's gonna grow slow, but it's gonna have a long lasting effect.
mm,
And I think if you look at it that way, it'll be fine. Because people are enjoying it. People are saying I can't put it down for some reason. I think you solved your problem, right?
mm-hmm.
I don't know what doing, but I know I'm doing something. Like the person's an unconsciously being able to keep up with the game. That says a lot.
Yeah.
That means you did something on a as far as a marketing level or a game achievement or replayability. You did something there.
And that's after you
So
said publicly you wanted to sabotage your own game. So yeah, that says a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, right. Like because people were having too much fun with the game.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
get an editor in there, please.
Yeah.
You don't want this? Why?
Right. Yeah.
So I think I'm happy for him. I'll give Death Stranding one a go, and it's a game where I don't feel like I have to beat right away.
But I think that was the point, right? I
Yeah,
think to
so
again to give him credit, like again, people are like, oh, why you guys so critical? But I'm like, it's not that. It's when I say like something's not for me, it's not because I think it's trash. Sometimes it's because it's trash. I'm not. And we poke fun at Death Stranding all the time. I'm not saying Death Stranding is trash. It's just not really. I can understand the concept and still not really be on board with wanting to play it,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I think there's nothing. I don't judge anybody who enjoys it, if that makes sense.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know. I mean, yeah, you're not gonna play Elden Ring, right?
Mm-mm.
But you're like, hey, man, I'm glad you're happy.
Yeah, I get the appeal. I get it. People who are just like, I want to, my inputs matter. Like this. If I roll the wrong way, it's over. Have at it.
I think you'll enjoy it, bro.
I got too
It's one
many
of
gray
those.
hairs on this head to go back into
I
the
think.
years
I
of
think.
games before patches.
I think you would definitely enjoy it, man. And I'm telling you this because I'm like, bro, I think you'll enjoy this, kid.
I mean, maybe
You just
look, given the way the industry is going, I'm sure I will play it at some point because
yeah. But yeah, we can move on.
yeah.
But yeah, with back to Sonic. Yeah, I'm okay. Let's see where it goes. This could be. I think, to be honest with you, we need people doing something different, man. It has to happen. I'd rather take this than, you know, at least he has backing, right?
Mhm.
Inafune, we don't know. He didn't have a lot of backing. We don't know what could have happened. Am I happy Mighty number nine turned out the way it did? No. Could he have done
Ooh,
something?
I gotta send you a video essay about that one.
Okay, send me about that one.
It's a little scandalous.
No, yeah. I mean, I know he left with a lot of money. Okay.
It wasn't for a lack of resources that the game turned out the way it did. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay. Well,
It wasn't for a lack
forget
of
that.
funding.
Forget that. So, all right. So,
Yeah.
I knew when I was saying, yo, I think Buddy Inafune ain't the game. It clicked with a lot of people. So, uh, yeah.
We'll make
All right.
this next
Next.
one real quick because you did mention it earlier. I think it is worth noting, which is why I kind of wrote it down. The rumor is that college basketball is coming back. Now that college football did so well, there's rumors that EA is now strongly considering, if not all but confirming, that they're bringing college basketball back to consoles.
I think right now, with the spiciness of the WNBA, you
Mm,
better. I'm watching the WNBA like it's SmackDown on. I'm like, yo, I don't care.
mm.
Give me the number 22 Indiana jersey. I don't care, bro.
Whoa, hold
She
on now.
rocking. She
She's fired though.
rocking.
She's fired. She's
No,
fired.
as a player, she's raw. She's raw. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta give respect. You feel me?
No.
Like, dog, these women is spice. The
Balling.
personalities.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The personalities coming in, man. I'm like, yo, look at this. Now, I think, yeah, definitely. I think that because how you gonna beat March Madness? March Madness is like the tournament. It's the Yu Yu Hakusho tournament.
Mm.
I'm down for March Madness. I'm like, yo, March Madness? Oh, like kid, tournament? Let's do it. I think yeah, I think I'm all for it, man. I think it's, of course, right? You saw the success of it got those margins up for the investors.
What do you know?
And we told you this about how just because you have money doesn't mean that you deserve to keep that money.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just say that. All right. um
And it's crazy. It's like, oh, if FIFA hadn't stopped selling, you would have still just been making FIFA and just never brought these things back. It's like,
and you
why?
buy out the contracts so that
No,
nobody
nobody
else
else
can
can
make a
make. Yeah.
soccer game. Which is like because you don't want the competition because other games people were like, yo, we can make a better ESPN was gonna take you guys out.
Yeah.
I just want like out nobody was playing Madden. Every around 2005 to 10, nobody was playing Madden
Mm.
like that. It was ESPN, the
Mm-hmm.
truck stick,
Mm-hmm.
the innovation ESPN. You had man, ESPN was led, those teams was led by John Connor, Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger from Kindergarten Cop. Give me hold up. Dan Mel Gibson from Lethal. Those people were competitive, man. They
Mm.
wanted that. They wanted all the smoke. Keanu Reeves from Speed. They wanted the smoke, man. They wanted the
Yeah.
smoke. Passenger 750. Wesley Snipes. Passenger 57 West. They wanted the smoke, man.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Universal Soldier Jean Claude Van Damme. They wanted the smoke, man. They was all for it. So for me, I just like that team, the energy behind that era, man. It was present throughout the entire industry.
Yeah.
EA Sports. Isn't it? Let's do it. Now you don't get none of that.
Yeah.
There's no sports. Go ahead and watch that video if you get a chance to.
Okay.
For that, yeah, that's the CEO right now currently of EA,
It's
which
I don't
you
know,
know,
bro. Like, I mean, I've been a long time uh shouting from the mountaintops of stop the blind NBA 2K support. But time will tell, right? Like at some point, again, I hope
no,
that
that's a
light bulb
person's whole
switch.
personality though. That's a dude's whole personality. Oh, you
But you,
play games? 2K. Yeah, I play. Man, I'm gonna see you in this 2K. You play 2K? I'm like, nah, dog. Like I play games, bro.
yeah,
Like You feel me? I could still run, man. I still got some speed on me. That's
Yeah,
not going away.
yeah,
Like, like my friends, they don't run. That's why their knees don't work no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I run, bro.
yeah,
Like I'm gonna be fine, kid.
yeah.
So I think like man, yeah, this is an opportunity. I be like, you better drop the WNBA game in there. You better drop the women's basketball.
I mean, I could
I
see
don't, it
that
might
more
not
going.
happen.
They're gonna bring it more to 2K than they will to a college basketball setting. I mean, there might be room for both, but right now, I think because the WNBA is having
I
such a resurgence in
think
popularity,
that's the
you you
best
kind of gotta.
opportunity to do it. I think you have, you can get away with more if you do it, if you put both in this.
You
That's how I feel.
can. I think in terms of like
And they got the money to do it.
I just mean in terms of like name notoriety, right? Where like
Mm,
we're getting to the point of learning the girls' names on the college teams. We're getting there, but we mostly know the WNBA teams. So it's
yeah,
like you
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of gotta like we come a long way from like there's Lisa Leslie and Skylar Diggins, and that's all I
No, but
know.
I think this can give that. I think you can revert. That could work both ways. In my how I see it, it could work both ways because oh, this player fire. Let me see how she is in. Yo, no, this girl gangster. Yeah, I think it worked. Because you don't lose anything, right? The worst that could happen is okay. They followed this player, and now this player blows up later
hmm
in the WNBA as
hmm
they followed them and played with them in the college games. I think this will give more people more time to be like, yo, who is this player? Who's that player? Because it's just it's just it gives room for like, yo, discovery.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. I think that's it'll work itself out because you don't have anything to lose, right? It's not like I have to know, oh, because I don't know the WNBA, which is the official league.
Mm.
I don't feel like participate because I don't know every team in college basketball.
Yeah.
I don't. But you start to get to know and get familiarized. That's the fun thing about the NCAA. You get to see who's the new promising star,
hmm
and then they become a name. Season after season after season.
Right.
So I think with the NCAA, that's what you have. I mean, is it NCAA? Did I say it?
Is it? That's what I thought too. I'm like, that doesn't sound right, but
That doesn't sound right, bro. I don't play sports against teams.
they were like, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, that doesn't
yeah,
sound
yeah.
right. College basketball is considered to be what? No, we were right. NCAA.
Are we right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what's the other one? What's football?
That's the one I don't know then. Cause
What's the football? What's college football?
uh, let's see, college football. While I'm looking it up, in the meantime, how many years do you think it's going to take EA to get back into their bag and start microtransactioning these games as well?
Kid, you gotta take them down like a country, bro. They gotta turn into they gotta turn into Babylon before any like where is Babylon? Yeah,
No,
they I,
they're
I
part
don't
of the NCAA also as well. It seems like okay. I don't know. Don't kill us in the comments, please. But
yeah, like we don't I play games,
you're
bro. I
right.
don't
It's a
really play
podcast.
football
Yeah,
simulator. Like,
like,
you know
you
what I'm
can't
saying?
get
Like,
every
I don't
single
care.
little detail right.
I don't care. Like you could quiz me on streets. I know that all day. You feel me? Streets basketball, but like I'm not playing
Yeah. But no,
but yeah,
yeah, I think EA again, they're like every other company. They're gonna play it safe until they can put their hand back in the cookie jar again, and hopefully players will still be cognizant enough to slap their wrist one more time.
they just need new leadership. But you got like I feel like this the you're always gonna get blades of grass, man. Like that's what the casual represents, in my opinion, for like football. Like they're always they like,
Mm,
it's just blades of grass. You can't tell them apart,
I
you
know.
know? And the only way to get rid of blades of grass is you uproot it, you bulldoze it. And if you bulldoze it, you put some concrete over it. It's the only way you treat grass, man, at times.
I couldn't
When
agree
you
with you
want to
more.
make a garden, you don't leave grass there. You take it out and you
Yeah.
put it in its place.
Mm. To
right?
make
You're gonna
something
be the
beautiful.
backdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be the backdrop to allow me to focus in on this beautiful plant that I put up. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think right now, we could go on from that, but like, but I don't care. I hate EA. I hate that company. And I could say that.
I
I do.
I don't
I hate the company. I hate what
see.
it stands for. And we can go on to what also we've grown to hate over, like especially me.
Hmm.
Um, what company I've grown to hate. As soon as they got their hands in the cookie jar, or
One, one, one more topic before we get there, because again, I already
yes, they're
know
starting to control the
it's
water for
gonna
the
shift the
wells.
whole vibe of the podcast. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
still find
yeah,
some ways of
yeah,
working some
yeah.
jokes. I have some jokes, but before I start gripping them out here and yelling.
Okay, let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go to the
Last
next
time
one,
before we
dude.
get to it, so Neil Druckmann announced that he is going to be stepping away from the TV adaptation of The Last of Us to focus fully in on Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. And I know in my adult brain that it makes all the sense in the world because at the end of the day, you're a creative director for games. You got into this making video games. You're not a TV director. You can make good TV. Some of the episodes he's directed for the show have been some of the better episodes in that series. But you're a game director. But I'm still gonna laugh because season 2 wasn't received the best. And it's like, well, I think I gotta get back over to Naughty Dog and make sure that everything is going copacetic. Before it's like, oh, this ship is starting to sink again. All right, HBO, thanks. It's been real. Good luck.
There's a lot more pressure over there, huh? It's a lot hotter pot.
Good luck. But what are your
Uh,
thoughts on Neil Druckmann kind of getting back into his game designer bag?
man, I like this. The fact that we know his name the way we do. Just kind of like it doesn't feel as organic as like Kojima's notoriety in a way. You
I I
know,
think because
feel like it's
I think because they came up in two different eras. Like Kojima came up in Kojima basically was the 90s celebrity where you didn't really know enough about them. So that it's just like you see their name and you're like, man, this person. And then it's not to say that he's not. Obviously, Kojima is a genius. But I think it's different from the Neil Druckmann era because now you're hearing, again, a well written or well scripted YouTube video essay. Yeah, he worked on Uncharted, but there was this lady over here that was kind of overseeing it, and then she did her own thing, and he kind of finished it, and like you start to see that the more collaborative efforts that kind of got Neil Druckmann to where he is compared to Kojima, where like we kind of don't know. It kind of seems like Kojima really did carry this on his back to get Metal Gear Solid to where it was, but we don't know. We don't know like to what degree there was other creative inputs that like put it together. It's like it'd be like if I credited Tetsuya Nomura for Final Fantasy VII. It's like he was not the sole driver of that train of putting that game together.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Obviously.
Ah, yeah. I think he kind of has to, man. He kind of has to
Neil, yeah.
because yeah, he kind of has to because like the game is not being received as well, right? And then I'm pretty sure in the back they see a shift in how media is going to be formed
Mm-hmm.
because of just overall retaliation of certain things.
Mm.
Certain things, if what two YouTubers can do a video on it, so where people be like, yo, you know what? I think I do hate this game. That'll just start a wave where you can go ahead and flick the dominoes and then just watch the domino or the card stack fall. And if it has merit too, I could see it happening.
Mm.
He kind of has to focus on to say like, what is this game? What are we gonna get? Are we gonna get Ghost of Tsushima with laser swords? What exactly is this game gonna be? Are we gonna get a little bit of? Is this gonna feel like I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy but through Gamora's eyes? Um,
That's not a
I don't know.
bad
It's not a bad idea.
angle. Mm.
Not a bad angle. But what is this game gonna be? And what's the message of this game? People care about the message of games now, like especially especially if it dives into topics that people aren't really fond of nowadays.
Bro.
So. If it does,
If those
you
leaks about that game are for real,
you
oh
sealed
boy.
you sealed your fate.
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
So yeah. Um and to it's not for nothing. I do see a consistency, and I just for me, when you say Neil Druckmann, I feel like he has a routine like Ashton Hall,
Hmm.
where he wakes up, ice bath, whatever, you know. In the morning, I like to take a. I don't know if you've seen the first in the intro of American Psycho with Christian Bale,
Hmm.
but I feel like that's how he wakes up. Some of his days is how he wakes up, and then he has a ball in his hand and he's thinking.
I'm thinking an unstoppable muscular woman.
I'm thinking he has that.
In fact, I'm gonna have her beat up Nathan Drake and his brother at the same time by herself.
while while somersaulting and grabbing Nathan Drake in a upward lateral suplex.
Yeah. And
And then
I'm
his
and I'm
brother,
joking a little bit, but that has been some of the critiques of like if anyone's gonna champion the fem boss, it's been Neil Druckmann. What?
yeah, yeah, like let me like yeah, I just think that's the energy he gives off. Again, I don't I know why I don't care about Last of Us. Um, because it was just that zombie era where everything was, and I never watched The Walking Dead to this day, guys. Like I don't care about it.
Mm,
I don't care about people walking in the room. You back in? Yeah. Found these cans of beans and the cabin out back. Well, go ahead and get that log ready. And we'll have some supper.
mm.
Like,
I mean, I've always enjoyed the humanity style stories. And to again to give him his credit, I think one of his writing strengths is that he has a good way of making this fictional character seem real. Right? I think that's something that doesn't get spoken about enough. I think that's what helped him get the position that he's in. Of like, you
can I
know
can
who
I ask you a
Joel and
question?
Ellie is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? What's the question?
Do you think that's hard to do?
Yes, yes,
Why?
because the human
Would that be a
experience.
challenge for you though?
Well, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Not for me personally. However, I can see it being difficult because again, the human experience is different for everybody. So there's certain things of I get using The Last of Us as an example, right? Where Ellie's on her revenge tour essentially in part two. And for me, again, being a little bit more generally empathetic than most, right? Kind of tuned into humans and their feelings, whatever the case may be. It took me about 45 minutes into the game to be like, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. I get it. I don't need 25 more hours of you telling me how bad revenge is. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it's tricky because it's hard to figure out at what point have I delivered the message I've been trying to tell.
I think his games would, like, if he wasn't so vocal, if he still kept that level of mysteriousness to him,
Hmm.
I think the games would be been doing better. Because it kind of still makes it hard to interpret, in my opinion.
But I don't think that's fair because essentially it's because people don't really care for what he says about certain things, right? Because I'm like, David Jaffe goes live every day. We know how he feels about a lot of things. The whole history of his involvement with Twisted Metal is he's been very vocal about it. We know how Corey Balrog has handled God of War. Like we've seen these other creative heads speak just as, if not more, than Neil Druckmann. I just think he's had more controversial quote unquote takes.
The reason why I would say like, but he's more in the area of momentum and prominence. Kind of these guys. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if David Jaffe's even in doing video games
I
anymore.
don't
So
think
he's
so.
now,
Mm.
yeah. So he's now like retired podcaster guy, retired sports commentator.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, Charles Barkley talking again versus versus LeBron commentating. Oh yeah, Stephen A. Smith really got on my nerves, and after I'm gonna go ahead and play 32 games, and then after that, me and Stephen A is going getting into it again, XYZ, but it's like it's live, it's alive, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's it's the his one is not it's not like he's on the end of okay, now this is what happened, XYZ. It's fresh.
No, I get it, and I think it's again, it's just a
And I
sign
think
of
that's
the
what's make it different. You feel me? That's what makes it different.
yeah.
That because that's yeah. Even though JV Jaffe's here, we all know that he's probably not gonna make another video game ever again, right?
Ah,
We don't know. It
yeah.
doesn't feel like he is, because it doesn't. For me, it doesn't feel like he is.
Mm.
I could be wrong, but um, yeah, yeah. That's the difference, man. Like what Kojima says now is gonna have a lot more weight because he's active,
Yeah.
and I think that's just the difference. They're
Yeah.
active.
Hmm.
And because they're active, people are going to anticipate. So then what the heck is he going to make next? You know? So that's why I think him being more mysterious. Like to be honest with you, if I was gonna make a video game, right? I'm not gonna talk about I'll give answers to, but I
Mm.
won't answer anything about that game until years later. I think staying mysterious, not answering questions still leaves room for speculation. That's why a lot of people like Dark Souls. They ask him every day, and it takes the spotlight away from him and allows people to focus in on the product. Because now that's why I say you should keep the mysteriousness now, because now you treat that self as a live entity. For me to confirm what it's saying, I have to play the game over and over again, and I still don't have an answer. You
Yeah,
know?
I think just the only thing, and I don't think you're wrong. Like I'm not even gonna sit there and say that I disagree. I just think that with that approach, you do run the danger of the narrative getting out of your hands. So, for example, when we talk about the pro grifting community within the gaming industry, of like you're stringing together a lot of pieces of the narrative because there's things that are not being confirmed or deconfirmed outright. The whole thing with the whole like the protagonist for South of Midnight was supposed to be white. No one's ever confirmed that. It came from one source, one unreliable source, and it's been taken as gospel. Whereas if you had someone from Compulsion Games be like, here's the process, here's what we went through, here's the drafts, here's why we did XYZ, it kind of pokes, like, again, people might still disagree with it, but at least you know the why, right? So I think there's a delicate dance you can have of like, you can inform your audience without being like, so while I'm saying this, I'm also saying that I don't think Neil Druckmann should have told people that, yes, they could have cured the fungus if they had killed Ellie in the first game. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's a little bit too much
Yeah.
information given.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the reason why is like those people you could feel now when somebody wants to lead this you know the people want to lead like people want something to say what they're projecting inside their hearts or whatever.
No,
Okay,
for
for
sure, but people are still
so
falling
like
for
that's
it.
what I
They're still falling for it. That's why I'm like, you have to kind of like, even
okay,
though they
like
want to, they can live
nowadays,
in the
yeah.
like. I'd rather somebody live in denial than not have the facts.
Okay.
Just tell me you don't want to believe it, rather than it being
Okay.
like there's no information to kind of counteract that. Like, no, here is what's happening. You can choose to agree with it, but here's what's happening. I'm arguing in our YouTube comments all the time with people like, your guys fighting games takes about this. I'm like, the examples you're giving me are only fueling our topic conversations even more.
Oh, keep it covered, kid. Like we like I'm like, bro, like you getting we giving you five electric god fists right now. Like, stop, put the controller down, son.
Mm.
Put the controller down. Um, yeah, nah, but nah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just think you have to find a sweet spot, man. Don't reveal too much. Like the best stories are show, don't tell.
1000%.
And that's how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Like subconsciously, Kojima's showing and not telling.
Yeah,
Some stuff you'll talk about. Just do that.
yeah,
Don't be like, no, and for this segment we did this so that you can do this. And oh no, the game's still fresh. Allow that lore to be built up. Otherwise, a video essay is not going to have a lot of personality.
yeah. And certain
You
things
know?
don't need a fully fleshed out explanation. I could be wrong. Someone can correct me in the comments. But I remember I think somebody asked Tetsuya Nomura like, "Hey, Sephiroth obviously has a very unwieldy sword to just have. It's the size of a basketball player, essentially. What happens? Does he summon it when he needs it? Does he summon the blade?" And he was just like, "Yes, that was it. Not how, not where does it stored. Like yes. Oh, all right. Like, yeah, okay.
No, that's how you do it though. That's how you do it. Like versus, well, the midichlorians are
Right,
found in everybody.
right,
So with the power of friendship, Sephiroth can summon his wings because he projects himself as an angelic being. That's
right.
why the wings come out. Yeah, I get. No, you could still do that, but you got to make it. Make that discovery to people where.
Yeah, but how often has that happened? Honestly, how many times have we
No,
found out how
that's
the trick works
that,
and been like,
no,
"That
that
was."
that's no, no, but that's when you start pulling rabbits out of the hat.
Yeah, yo, like, oh, is
Oh
that how
no,
that
rabbits out of
worked?
the trash can,
Yeah.
yeah, or rabbits out of the butcher bay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd
Like
rather not have
that's what I'm
known.
saying.
But all right, we have danced around it long enough. We made it an hour in, covered most of the other topics that need to be discussed. We will be answering a community question before the end of the podcast. But Jory, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, I have said, I made a joke quite a few pods ago of one thing I know and two things for certain is that if you're ever mad at something that Nintendo says or does, that PlayStation says or does, give it time and Xbox will make you even more upset every time. And we had some discussion prior in the group chat because again, we're entrepreneurs at heart. We both worked on the other side and seeing how the hierarchy of business works. You hear about the idea of acquisitions, redundancies, reducing for things like that. It's the ugly side of how business works and is structured. So, when you started hearing, yeah, there's rumors about the layoffs coming, you're like, okay, I could see why you don't need two program developers. Okay, whatever. I get it. You've acquired massive amounts of people. I understand that unfortunately there's going to be some redundancies. But to hear the number 9,000, 9,000. Now, to be fair, this is throughout Microsoft, not through Xbox. But obviously, Xbox caught heavy casualties in that count. For those who don't know, we're talking studio closures, games being outright canceled. Perfect Dark, goodbye. Legacy developers being out of their jobs. I think the rumor is one of the guys that originally was with Rare for the original Donkey Kong Country was caught up in the layoffs. Gone. So you have this situation now where, and I've been trying to figure out what's the right way to like roll out this topic for discussion. I just, I think a couple of things. I think that we are now seeing, and I know it's been like joked about and said about seriously, and there's been all these think pieces on it, and then of course there was that video that dropped like a week ago. Was her name Laura Fryer? Is that her name? Laura,
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
yeah, who said like Xbox has lost vision of what made the hardware great and things like that. And people are like, oh, this is the same old thing we've been hearing for years. Da, 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 da. This was like a week before the layoffs, right?
I think she
And
also helped with Halo.
yeah, she was on the original Xbox team. Like she was one of
Yeah.
the OGs, like legit.
Yeah,
Um,
but you're not gonna get magic like that ever again, dog.
clearly, clearly. So she's saying these things. People are trying to dismiss it, like, oh, we've heard, like this is nothing new. This is kind of like some of the like, oh, this is not the company I built. Like, oh, you hear that a lot. I'm like, but they're saying that because something is missing and they're seeing it and they're trying to explain it to you that something is missing. And as I thought about it, I think that what we are seeing, I know people want to be like, oh, well, it's Satya, oh, it's these people that are above Phil and above, Matt Booty and all these things. I'm like, listen, we're starting to see a company that it's a matter of when, not if, Xbox is going to be completely in the Sega portion of its career as strictly software, in my opinion. It's a matter of when. It is a staggering level of two fingers pointing in the wrong in the opposite directions of where to go, a staggering level of incompetence, a staggering level of false promises, a staggering level of inconsistency. We talked about this before we started recording the podcast. I cannot believe a single word that comes out of anyone's mouth as it relates to Xbox internally. I cannot. All it's like I'm waiting for the contradiction whenever they announce or say something. To me, and I was telling you I had like a controversial take. Respectfully, because apparently in real life he is a nice guy. He seems like a nice guy, right? Seems like the uncle we all want to have in terms of the gaming space. I think when it's all said and done, Phil Spencer's biggest contributions to Xbox are going to be one, Game Pass, and two, not being Don Metric. Redfall, trash. Hi-Fi Rush, you close the studio. Starfield, trash. Halo Infinite, trash. Your biggest achievements have been Indiana Jones, which is, as we've said multiple times, eh. Avowed, eh. Should I be
I can't believe
excited?
that game dropped, bro. No presence.
Gone. Came and went like this.
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2.
That was a campaign. Yeah.
Uh, t- the Order 1886 with less gameplay. All right? Am I please tell me what I'm missing. Please tell me where I'm missing. It's something where, we talked about the thumbnail that's going to be for this podcast. I'm like, it's at his absolute best. And again, it's not just a Phil Spencer thing. It's a Matt Booty thing. It's a Microsoft thing. It's an Xbox thing. At his absolute best, he is the spokesperson and figurehead for decisions that are out of his control, out of his hands, and above him. At his absolute worst, he's either a liar or intellectually dishonest. The only person who seems to be on track with what they want to do is Sarah Bond, because all she comes in and talks about is hardware. She don't tell you about nothing else. But in my opinion, from my angle, you're all sitting in the boardroom when the meetings are happening, so you're all equally guilty. When we were working at the grocery store and the store manager came to the front, it didn't matter that you were the cashier, so and so was the bagger, and I was the supervisor. That glare was for everybody. Why does this look like this?
There's no I they, there's no say so, man. That's what that is, man. There's no say so. There's no the Xbox brand once it came under Microsoft's authority, like legit wise, and Satya being there. Maybe it would have gone different had a different CEO been running it. But we see how Satya runs things
Hmm.
in Microsoft,
Hmm.
and we see how powerful it is when someone doesn't understand their product. Also, we also see the backlash of what led them to this position. This stems back from that E3 2013. Yeah, no, I say because like that event kind of like that's where a lot of PlayStation Xbox subscribers went to PlayStation. And then that's just the truth. And because of that, Phil had to rebrand the Xbox One. and that was a successful thing. That
Mhm.
was unheard of, right? Without him being there, Xbox would have been gone. And so he gave the company a lot of longevity through that. And then there was just things that unfortunately didn't fall through. Like we had the deal that was that E3 where we were supposed to get a lot of games that we were supposed to get wind up being canceled because of the party that we hired. Like, the platinum games between Kamiya and him doing the game that he did, and then he wind up not. They just wind up spending the bread. They were trying to do platinum games. We were trying to do 17 games all at once,
Yeah.
versus just focusing on this company that would fund exactly what you want,
You're right.
right? And so, the idea of Game Pass was a great idea, great concept, and it was growing, but it was not. I don't think Phil intended for Satya to move the way he did, or that Microsoft. I thought they would kind of pretty much leave them to do what they do and allow that branch to grow on its own. And so, him, it actually, to me, in my opinion, it backfired. You see how much these people have no idea of how what they have, what this part of Microsoft does. They don't understand that. They don't. And we're seeing that in every game. What we're seeing is people like, yo, why can't we make a game like Grand Theft Auto? Make a game like Grand Theft Auto. Like, no, we don't do that. We don't specialize in that. But you can draw, right? Goes to the people who don't want to pay the artist. Oh man, why do I have to pay the artist when I can just create art myself? With that's what the idea of Microsoft is, right? Like they don't lead in making hardware. My Xbox did. Xbox wanted to have the best hardware out there.
Right.
That team was specialized in that.
Correct.
But that energy is not going to be able to deal with the ocean of energy where this lazy company who don't care about innovating their software, they purchase a new chip that they can't do anything with. We have the first quantum computing like, yo, the team at Apple, the team at whatever team that's up and coming in China are laughing like, yo, we gonna make one that we can sell to the people. And Microsoft is always last to do something, where the Xbox were the first to that company have two different visions.
Hmm.
And we've seen two different back and
Which
forths.
is why
We
I
heard
said, to be
rumors.
fair, I'm like
No,
two fingers pointing in opposite directions.
we heard rumors of Satya and the Xbox team not being happy with what Microsoft are proposing, right? You get people who are it's just two different mentalities, two different isms, right? Phil Spencer was shaping the brand to be what he wanted, because what Phil was creating a new regime, right? Phil was getting rid of people that weren't conducive to the vision of Xbox.
Hmm.
They were cancerous. And now you have Satya Nadella, who turns out to be even more cancerous, right? Like you have for the vision of Xbox, right? Why would he care, right? He's Microsoft. We're in everybody's software. You're not going to cancel somebody does it better than you, which your prominence is because you came here first, not because you were the most innovative.
Right.
Yeah, like blades of grass. Okay, do we have enough time to pluck each and every blade of grass? No, we have to find a different method that could actually do that. Either you overcome this blades of grass with the ocean. You have an ocean by your side,
Hmm.
or you have the weather. You just won't be able to combat it the same way unless you use a forest fire. And I think that's what we're dealing with. The platform that Don Matrick built, man. Like this is the aftermath of it. And Phil was just trying to hold the pillars together. He asked, he was hoping that the House of the North, you know,
Hmm.
wouldn't overbear. Now you got this unruly prince that says, "Well, you're under our houses. Why are you? How are you running this house?" You know, and so that's what I'm seeing. So go ahead.
I'll ask this first, and before I give my
Okay.
rebuttal, if you were looking for money for funding for something, would you first attempt to go through the bank, or would you go through a loan shark? And again, you might not get approved from the bank, but what would you think your first instinct would be to do?
Bank,
Bank.
but
Can you tell me why? I'm
again,
gonna tie
man,
I'm gonna tie it all together.
I know. I think with the deal with Blizzard and Activision, that deal prolonged itself longer than what was anticipated to. Like nobody thought that for gaming that they would be fought the way they did because Google didn't have to face that. Um, when they decided to launch their thing, acquisition. So you had this strange mix up of whoever that woman was blocking the deal from going through,
Hmm?
and they just didn't have the money to pay for those expenses anymore. And so that was the backlash. Maybe that was the deal that needed to be done with in order for Microsoft to still keep their level of flowetry or the system that they had going for it, Xbox in its right. And so for me, what I'm guessing, like that was more costly. That became more costly than anticipated. And so now we are. Ayo, they want their money back tomorrow. So Phil, this is what you're gonna do.
But and I'm not sitting here trying to cape for Satya in any shape or form
Hmm.
or fashion.
Hmm.
But the reason why I asked the bank or the loan shark is I'm not full. Again, we don't know where, armchair quarterbacking this at this point. I would imagine, let's say, that Phil had an inkling of how Satya gets down when it comes to his business, right? Hence the loan shark of like, I'll give you the bread, but right, you can't. And I've said this before, but I think this is where I hold Phil the most responsible. You can't tell me, hey, I want to buy the company that's making Elder Scrolls, which sells like hotcakes every time it drops, and the company that makes Call of Duty. Call of Duty. So I'm going to need a couple of billion to seal this deal. Not to mention the additional billion because now they're trying to block us, as you said. So I give you the money to get this done, and I ask you, where is the return on investment? And you give me Redfall. You give me Call of Duty, which is still multi-platform. Who knows if Elder Scrolls 6 will show up before I turn 40? Then the emails leak. You talking about you wanted to buy Nintendo if they're interested. What would Xbox do with Nintendo? You painted Xbox in a way that made so much sense a couple of podcasts ago. This is the company that makes games for the 2000s American. Pickup driving, beer shotgunning, Xbox live chat would embarrass their parents if it ever hit the internet. Crowd. What would you do with Nintendo? What would you have done with Mario? What is the vision here? What's the 5 year plan? You just wanted to buy all of the biggest publishers in the world and be like, it's Xbox.
I would say this. There is a level of incompetency when it comes to execution and getting things out.
Which is what I'm saying.
Um, yeah, and so now I can't defend I can give you what led to the position that we're in now, and that's my best shot. But right now, as of what Microsoft is, it's not really a company I really like or respect because they're just not innovative.
And that's
They don't.
fair. That's fine, right? We say these things about a lot of companies. There's a lot of, if we're talking about innovation versus stability, right? I'd say Samsung has proven far more innovative than Apple. Apple has been focusing more on stable. They're trying to get back into the innovative part. They're just too expensive. We've talked about this off camera. Them Apple Vision goggles, fire. Who is buying that for that price? Obviously, nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Not us.
No,
Not
nobody.
the civilian. Not the civilian.
No,
Not the
nobody.
civilian.
So
Hmm.
I'm saying that to say of like I understand that like Microsoft as the parent company clearly, right? 9,000 casualties, more even piling up, is focused on one thing: profit margins. Those numbers need to go up no matter what. Who I don't care who gets caught in the crossfire. Up, 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 up. I get it. Not ideal. Again, not caping for them. But again, the loan shark, you know who you are dealing with. So when you want to get that division's eye on you because you needed funds and your plan is, and again, I'm not trying to downplay Game Pass at all, right? But again, if what we've heard about Game Pass is to be believed, it's sustaining. It's not growing. It's not shrinking. It's sustaining. And again, going back to Microsoft, numbers must go up. We own Call of Duty, and these numbers have not gone up. I'm seeing the data in Call of Duty's in the top 5 games played every month. Top 5. And these Game Pass numbers are not going up. And I spared it in the original, like my original tirade. I would imagine South of Midnight was a flop also.
Yes, it's a flop for numerous reasons, man. It's a flop because uh political reasons
Oh, for
influence the
sure, for
decision,
sure, for
right?
sure, for sure, for
That's
sure.
that's that's going to be the outcome of a lot of games
No,
making it or not.
for sure.
Political reasons. Two, um, nobody kind of knows what it is. Didn't make it clear. Didn't make itself clear as to what game I'm playing.
Marketing wasn't the best.
Marketing wasn't the best. I do think political reasons had a stronger outcome of how this game would have been tried out to play because uh oysters, not oysters, but sea lion, like if you get one to do it, the rest of them all do it.
For sure.
So that's one.
I
And
just
it's just not what the market's asking for. It's one of those games you make as a bonus. Like people want you're not doing anything to give people what they want, right? Like there's certain things to where like you guys had something that was competing with. You have no mascot, you have no projects, nothing new. Everything that's successful from Microsoft right now, as far as Game Pass, is already in a pre-existing. Uh, a pre-existing, and I think allowing it to get certain games to have too much of a political influence hampers the vision on some cases. It destroys the vision. Like now, okay, what was a game where driven by it was just a 90s era video game. Now is like, oh man, it's too sensitive of a topic. I said, no, this is just realistic storytelling.
mm-hmm.
Why are you looking at it that way? This is not a children's program. And you don't have to, you can't force feed me these lessons that you want me to adhere to. Like we're not in a society to where everybody has to, like, this is not equilibrium, right? Where you want me to not enjoy paintings because you
Right,
want everybody to be emotionless,
right.
or you want everybody to keep up an emotion that's they're not actually feeling.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, I'm not going to go in the cat and hat direction with the colorfulness. I'm not going to go in the dystopian sepia tint overlay of your average film done in South America tint.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Or the grittiness, it doesn't look orange enough. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not,
I
that's not what I'm asking for,
but even with that, I'm like, we can kind of give it a pass because essentially it's like not a pass, but it's one of those things of like South of Midnight is something you would kind of put in the category of a hi-fi rush in my
Yeah,
mind. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But and that's what I'm saying. It's hard for me to not get upset because I'm like, but I can't even defend that because Hi-Fi Rush dropped and you closed the studio
And you said that was the
anyway.
best, and you said vocally,
Yeah.
you said
After
vocally,
you
we're here
said
to
we
make
need
sure.
games like this, Phil said that.
Yeah, there was, yeah, like, I don't know, like right at this point, yeah, I don't care for Microsoft anymore. As an Xbox fan, I'm not the Xbox guy anymore. I just have an Xbox library that I'm not willing to leave. Me and a friend of mine discussed. They said if Xbox winds up ending, right? and they're willing to pay people half the cost of what they spend on Xbox Live, I'm doing it. If I get my money back at half the price of what I spent put into my gamer account, yeah, I'm getting rid of it. My saves and all. Like, give me my money back because this wind up being a ball of nothing. I
You
should have joined the master race a long time ago, man.
you can't sit here and tell me, not you, but you can't sit here and tell me when Phil's sitting at these interviews, podcasts, whatever, saying things like there isn't a game that we could drop that would drastically increase the sales of Xbox consoles tomorrow. While true, what is the Xbox designed for? You think that
Games.
games? You think that Nintendo could pull off what they're pulling off if their
If it
games
wasn't,
weren't certified?
and it's that language that makes me lose. You don't want to believe it until like now, like 6 months ago,
No,
I
I
would have
know.
been like,
We
I
were
would have
having a
stayed,
very
I would have
different
stayed.
podcast.
We're having a very different podcast. Even that last part, even that last, we like, yo, Xbox is actually making an effort. Well, we don't know what they're doing now. This gives me, but now, hey, Microsoft just canceled their handheld. Oh yeah, it doesn't make any sense to have two systems out, right? Well, this just makes more sense. In the future, everybody will have a chance to make the Xbox that they want.
Uh huh.
What? And yeah, it's just
This is an
again, man.
Xbox, but your cloud gaming infrastructure is not where it needs to be saying things like that. I know for a fact that if I boot up the Xbox app on my TV, I'm going to be playing at 15 frames per second. This is not an Xbox. The laptop I'm on recording this pod with you is not an Xbox. What are you what?
That whole marketing thing would have worked a lot better, and people would have bought into it had they positioned it as Xbox is the stem and these are the branches.
Yeah. Or this is the 2 3 year plan. Starts at Xbox. The next thing will be our handheld with our ROG partnership. From there, we plan on going to the deal we have with, I don't know, LG TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
Your Microsoft Surface 11 will be able to play Halo Infinite. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I was saying before we started recording. I'm like, bro, this is gonna get me hot because I'm like, you
Nah,
have
nah.
all. It's not. It's you're not an indie company. You're not. You are funded by one of you're second only to Nvidia in the tech space. You are $1 trillion company. And again, there's certain things where I'm like, again, adult brain, I understand. Perfect Dark, again, if the rumors are to be believed, it's been in development hell. Okay, fair enough. If you said you've been
It
working on the
did
game for five plus years and
it
nothing shows for it, I
for
can't be
me,
fully mad at that.
that game didn't know what it was. Like with games like that, all you had to do was just give us a modern version. Perfect Dark, man. I would have taken the Perfect Dark that came out in the two when the 360 just dropped. Cause she had personality, whatever, man. But dog, like, what are you like?
If you don't feel that
Because when
confident,
they
why are
mention
you
Perfect
announcing
Dark,
it?
when they mention Perfect Dark to me, I'm thinking about like, oh, they're gonna give us something along the lines of an edgier anime-esque version of Deus Ex or a multiplayer espionage, gadgetry, first-person parkour shooter game where you
Mm-hmm.
can go I would have taken that, but that's not the vision. That's not what they did at all. And it's just they tried to give us this. Uh, yeah. I mean, like to be honest with you, Fable's also canceled. That game will never come out ever again.
The fact
It's
that
been
the
canceled for so many times, though.
The fact that they didn't even mention it in this most recent showcase at all, nothing. I said, "Oh, okay,
It's gone.
all
It's gone.
right." Do we get
Like
excited for
Marcus,
Gears of War E Day?
no, no.
No, right? No, no, no.
Why are you? Why are you? I mean, Gears of War. To be honest with you, Gears of War 6 is like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like story wise, it wasn't it for me.
It wasn't it
Um,
for a lot of people.
Story wise, it wasn't it for me. I don't understand why Kate became the focus of the story. She could be a part of the story. I don't think she should. I don't. I think JD should have been the main character.
You could
Market
not live
Phoenix's
with your
son.
failures, and where did that bring you? Back
Back to
to me.
me. Oh man, like it's just there's a history of actually nothing taking place. No movement, just stagnancy.
Nothing, bro. Nothing.
And
Nothing.
I
Nothing.
understand.
Nothing.
Like even with this Ninja Gaiden, it's like it's never perfect. I don't care about this guy. That's where a lot of my hatred for this character comes from. It's because it's also that in the back end of like there's no movement. And now I find out you fund you finally fund a game,
Ninja Theory's
a
being
Ninja
funded by,
Gaiden.
yeah.
You finally fund Ninja
Sorry,
Team
not
Ninja,
Team Ninja, not Ninja Theory.
which Ninja Gaiden originally started on the Xbox because he came to you. Resident Evil 4 was supposed to be exclusive to Microsoft, but they didn't understand there was a disconnect. They actually mocked him in the meetings. That's what I'm hearing. And so he went to Nintendo, and there you have it.
I do not. Again, there's some missing parts. Right, there's a little bit dirt on everyone's underneath everyone's fingernails. We can't spare Phil anymore because he's a
And
nice guy.
I don't think
I'm
Fire and
not
Phil
saying firing
would be
Phil.
like I
I'm
don't
not
think
saying firing Phil.
you know, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm just saying, like, getting rid of Phil, having him step down doesn't solve. That's what the internet's saying.
No,
Fire him. Like,
yeah, or
that's
like
not gonna solve
or
anything.
he's
Like,
like the martyr for the like. No, he's again, and that's why like even when I said what I said, I'm like I'm trying to say this with a level of respect. Hopefully, it translates that way. I don't know, but it's one of those things where I'm like, while I'm not putting it solely blamed on him because obviously it's not. I think it's pretty clear that there's a lot of hands in that pot. He's not as hands free as we are led to believe. I refuse to believe that. You are the CEO, not the spokesperson, not the human relations guy, the CEO. You couldn't wait to share Game Pass numbers back in 2021. We haven't seen those numbers since. Why? And I could am I misquoting him? Didn't he say something about Game Pass is the future? Right, was that somewhere in?
even if games get to a certain price, like the name of Microsoft and Xbox being together, it just doesn't register
It's
anymore.
going to
Like
turn into Microsoft Gaming.
this, and it's gonna mean nothing at that point. Because once you say Microsoft, all I see is a very old group of people who have no idea how the world works anymore. Very disconnected from language, disconnected from just what's going on culturally,
I already said.
disconnect the atmosphere of what the gaming is. Like, so
I said a couple of podcasts ago. Easiest, simple, straightforward way to get people hyped for your next Xbox console. Tell them it comes prepackaged with a content creator kit. You don't even need your laptop. You can stream everything through the UI of Xbox interface. Everything Nintendo's trying to do and sell you, basically sell you Discord, it comes bundled. You win. Every time that Xbox has put funding behind innovation, they win. The Xbox Live voice chat changed how PlayStation had to copy y'all. You didn't copy them, they copied y'all.
Xbox Live was nearly perfect. You want me to go a little bit further?
Please.
You don't have to pay for internet, just a subscription.
We should be trading emotions here. I should be the calm one.
No,
You should
I
be ready
mean,
to flip a table.
but you see my sentiments a while ago, bro. I flipped my tables already. I told you I left. I told you I left. Like when I say I hate Microsoft, I just realized they just don't line up with my vision.
Mm,
Right? That's why I would always invest in a Mac.
mm,
That's why I would always, if Linux drops something, I'd probably invest in them because I see the effort, right? I see companies. I see there's a moment where Rocky Balboa can't really do what he wants to do, but he finds a way. I
mm,
don't see that from Microsoft. I don't see that. I
mm,
don't see that from Microsoft. I don't
mm,
see that anymore. For me, I look at companies who say, "Yo, if you, as soon as you guys do this, it's over for the rest of the world. It's over for the rest of the world. As soon as if certain companies were to be like, you know what, I think we should do this, it's over. 9 times out of 10, it's done. It's done. Like I could buy a PlayStation 3 controller from from an Apple store. You
mm.
can also get I know you've seen the latest update. But
Nah,
oh
man.
no, I don't. Yeah, yeah,
But
but
yeah, I'm like, that's imagine if Xbox Anywhere was a plan and not an audible.
yeah.
Y'all would have been out of here. I can cloud save from my laptop to my phone to my console. What?
You buy it on your game, you could play it on your console, on your phone, and it's gonna be treated just the same. Save.
Out of here.
Yeah, but again, how do you describe that to Mr. Nutella?
Well, you can't because
They
all
want
he
their money
hears is
back.
the ring in his ears of when the transaction cleared for a couple billion.
Yeah, there you go.
But you caused the ringing. And
Yeah.
that's what I keep coming back to. I'm like, this is you. They again, the ongoing joke is it's the eye of Satya. I'm like, but it's not the eye of Satya unprovoked. You put the ring on your finger, and he sensed a disturbance in the force and came looking. You told him acquiring Activision was gonna take y'all out of here, and here we are, 3 years later. Not a certified banger in sight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know how I know they outsource a lot of things. They refuse to pay for stuff to be done in-house. You don't have an in-house studio, your culture can't exist.
They had an
These are
in-house studio. They closed it. That was part of
yeah,
the
so
layoffs.
yeah, so I mean, there you go. I don't know who's running Microsoft right now, like Xbox's division. I don't even think the Xbox division actually exists anymore. It's Microsoft games.
Just Microsoft games. And
Like
if
Sarah Bond
it's
is
not,
probably
it
gonna
will
be
be soon.
promised. She's gonna probably be promised this position, and they're gonna have somebody from.
Well, and that's why I say like I'm not sure. Again, we don't know, right? We're just going from the information we have and the things that we've learned over the years. Of like, I think Sarah Bond has played it smart because again, she's only spoken to us about hardware. She
Who
don't
cares
talk
though?
about nothing. But I think that's how you kind of like dodge the wrath of like, what am I supposed to do? Yell at the woman for promise me another ROG? The ROG is coming. I know it's coming. But where are the games? You know what I'm saying? Like again, it's not. It's like if she's just a guilty, hey, line her right up with the rest of them. But to me, I'm like, you got Matt Booty, who's the head of the gaming division, and you got Phil. And to be honest, I think a lot of the reason why we're getting on Phil is because we don't hear nothing from Matt except that things are getting canceled.
I mean, he's not a personal favorite of mine, for many reasons.
You know how you change that? You know how you get the air of the people? The favor of the masses?
You make
You
games.
make games. Head of the gaming department.
I just think the wrong people are in the wrong place, man. Like it's not people that care about, and you had those that didn't. You did nothing to protect them. Like it's like you put on your scouter, you saw 9,000, yeah, delete. I don't know what's happening, and I don't care, man. At this point, I'm ready to sell my gamer tag and just start fresh.
Yeesh.
I'm ready to sell my gamer tag online. See how much it costs. Do the math. I'm selling for I'll probably buy a Mercedes Benz with this.
Mm.
Yeah, just sell the email too. Would that come with it? For me, wipe out that email. Make sure that email, like that email will no. The next email I make for a video game will be only for games. There will be no way for any company to send me spam unless it's Microsoft Xbox.
Yeah. I,
But
I I just don't understand how in the same calendar year I've come the closest I've ever come to considering an Xbox device
you did,
to
and
now.
then it just died immediately. Ah, I don't know myself, man. I left, man. Like I'm not. Oh, you fanboys. It's not that. It's just like we're at the age where if you do something that's extremely stupidly obvious, I'm gonna snap.
Yeah. And I'm
I
not
don't have
gonna
the right to
forget.
snap. I, I don't have the right to snap. People probably think I really despise Satya Nadella. I'm like, man, you know what? I look at him like Beerus, you know.
He's just doing what he was assigned to do.
But then again, Don Matrick is Beerus. So it's like, how do I? Or he's Champa. Sati is Champa, and we'll say Don Matrick is Beers because he could hide Xbox. Xbox just happened to have a healing factor, and and it's fighting, but it's getting snapped out of existence, man. Thanos style.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what Satya. I don't care about the Xbox people that built themselves over. Like yeah, I would never ever build a YouTube channel around a company.
Yeah.
I would
No.
just
No.
I would never do
No.
that.
No. No.
Not like for these people that just built themselves around a game, like they built themselves around one thing. I'm like, yo, that one thing ain't it, man.
Yeah.
Like
Not these
because
days.
because if they go in a different direction, you by yourself
Yeah.
forever.
Those Mortal Kombat YouTube channels are struggling.
Now you
Struggling.
can't pay rent. Mortal Kombat will be here forever. Not if Ed Boon's not in charge.
No.
Yeah, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing exactly what Ed Boon's going through. Like he can't do anything.
Yeah. And but I think the difference, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think that the reason why again, like I just look at feel a little bit differently is like with Ed, you see the follow through. You know what I'm saying? Harada, you see the follow through. Harada basically came out and said, "Hey, we had this team handle this part of the season 2, and that's why these balances are like this." Doesn't excuse it, but this is me saying we put the wrong team on these balances. We'll fix it. Ed Boone saying,
Redfall,
"Here's what we want to do," but that's what I'm saying though. That's what I'm saying.
Hellblade,
These are games that Phil is championing. That's the thing. How do we go from
Sunset Overdrive.
how do we go from February of this year? There's rumors that Phil Spencer played Everwild and he was having the time of his life. They had to take the controller out of his hand.
Bison.
4 months later, KO.
Yeah, yeah. Psycho Crush.
Yeah,
Oh no, I mean I'm done, man. Like I don't even like man. I don't care, man. Once Gears of War is going to the PlayStation, it's over. Like you don't care about investing in first party anymore. You don't care about being number one. You turn to software. That's it. We're just gonna be a micro it's not X once Xbox name changes and Microsoft games, like that's it. I'm just like, yo, are our games gonna transfer to they're gonna have to. Microsoft is gonna pay
Yeah,
anybody
they'll
who wants
figure
their money,
out how
who
to
wants
get
to
that. Yeah,
who doesn't want their game. They want to they want their money back from their gamer tax from all the money they spent. They'll give it to me.
they'll
I'll
figure
wait
out
my six
something.
months.
I just again, I mean, we can kind of move the topic forward. I just to me, I'm like, I just don't like you said. This the wrong people in charge of like you have you're not lacking in resources. You have I'm gonna still call Phil a competent CEO. Maybe not an amazing CEO, but a competent CEO who's at least somewhat ingrained in the culture. But you're unable to execute year after year after year after year. And at some point, that Don Matrick bulletproof vest you kept putting on, it's
It's
done.
crazy. A team of 33. A team of 33. 10 people are making video games now.
You know they
And
hired the writer of Expedition 33 off of Reddit?
when history behind the warrior makes a video game essay and connects the dots for you, you give him no form of prominence at all. Nothing. You built up AI. All AI does is take the information that you could have already gotten from actual people. If I'm be real with you, if any of those black YouTubers come together and just put $20 or probably what 20,000 towards a game, they'll see a great level of returns because they have passion, concept, and vision. They'll just have to work out their language as to how they get stuff going across, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it'll be a success. It'll
Yeah.
be a success. Um, 30, they hired him off for Reddit. That's crazy. It's not crazy. I just think the era of like I don't go to Domino's for pizza. I don't go to Papa John's for pizza anymore.
Mm.
I go to a mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I'm gonna get the ham that's made and farm raised by an actual farmer. I'd rather get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather get the fruits that's made by the grandma who has her own vineyard garden
Mm-hmm.
and uses fresh compost to and speaks to her flowers every day she wakes up for 30 minutes so they can give her the best fruit. That's what I'm that's what I that's who I'm for.
Mm-hmm.
You just so happen to be under a big company and like yeah, Form Software buying its own rights from Bandai Namco to be like, yo, listen, hey, you can keep all of that Dark Souls. Fine, that's fine.
Very
We got
telling.
it now.
Very
We
telling.
got it. Guess what? Guess what? The man says, hey team, you guys want to do an offshoot of Elden Ring? What's it gonna be? Well, I was thinking about you know, any other company was like, wait, that's not Elden Ring 3. No, but no, Night Ring is an event now,
Mm-hmm.
and it can only go uphill from here. From what I'm seeing, that's hey, yo, this concept works. People's like a roguelike Elden Ring. What? Where I gotta run?
And to be fair, it needs some tweaks.
No, no, no. And so did Dark Souls 1.
Mm.
But there was enough of the jankiness
Yeah,
for
no,
it to
yeah,
work in his
yeah, for
favor.
sure, for sure, for
You
sure.
know, just like your Fallout games. You know, there was enough jank for people to bear with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, these game company, like Lost Souls Aside was made by one guy. That's why I'm giving him. I'm not mad. Like,
I'm not mad either. I,
but when is it coming out?
yeah,
Finally,
you know what I'm
finally,
saying? Like,
finally, hey,
hey,
finally.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like,
Yo,
I
this
get it, but
what's the other game? Even like Wukong, Wukong,
they saw it through, and now he has a chip on his
Phantom
shoulder.
Blade,
Yo,
Phantom
Wukong
Blade
2
Zero.
is about to be.
Oh man, that man turned to Kaiba, dog. All I heard was the Kaiba music. You actually want people like this in the industry, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, show me Paul Allen's card. Oh my God, look at that red light, the subtlety, the texture. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying?
No, I do. It's. I guess in closing, I mean,
Wait,
it's.
before we close,
No,
it's
closing from
just
this topic at
evidence.
least.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah,
just evident of like poor management. Somebody's not doing their job.
some
There,
bodies are not doing their job.
some bodies aren't doing their job. Some bodies aren't doing their job. There's just how does this go unwarranted? How do you have a company not even coming to a concept for 5 years? Nobody had a good idea. What are you guys doing? Get lost.
I would have even accepted bad ideas, right? So like we're starting to see what happened with Sony of like, oh man, where's Sony with the games? Oh, they just all chose live service, which was obviously a horrible idea. But I'm like, okay, this was a bad
Live service should
idea.
only be for kids.
Yeah, this was a bad idea. You put too many eggs in one basket for some odd reason. Versus here is a majority of various ideas that don't seem to go anywhere. And the only reoccurring thing I keep hearing is like, oh, we probably weren't paying as much attention as we should have. I beg your pardon?
Man, more canceled games than games being released.
What else are you doing? What are you in charge of?
More canceled games than games being released.
You're not chasing live service. Nintendo about to drop a game every week for the next 6 months for Switch 2. We can say all we want about the hardware, but I've said it before. I'm like, that software lineup, sans Mario Kart World, looks pretty good. A new Metroid, a new Donkey Kong, Kirby DLC, and a new Kirby game, and an as yet to be unannounced Super Mario game.
Mm, 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 mm. As soon as Zelda drop, it's over.
That's the thing. I don't even think they need to drop Zelda.
They don't, but they will.
I mean, yes,
They will.
but that's some 5 years.
Imagine a
5
Zora
years
domain underwater and on land.
with a stable frame rate this time.
Stable frame rate in the combat. Uh,
Yeah,
you play as Link Geralt. Oh, well, we got some Witcher elements in this. Oh, oh. Yeah,
yeah.
dog. Nah, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know what this next Zelda is gonna be. But if it's I still think you should stay open world because there was something that Zelda did. There's like a therapeutic aspect of it, man. It's like sublime, bro. Even if you don't want to do a actual mission.
Because you're still allowing your creativity to carry your games. That's why. That's what it is. There's a reason why Astrobot moves a couple million copies because you're letting your create. You saw Super Mario 64 and said we could do that but better, given the technology we have. So now the spirit of that is there. We
I
like
got
what we
ideas
do
for
with
a
Breath of the
Sonic game
Wild, but I
too.
think Tears of the Kingdom, when you dive underneath the earth and there's a whole nother world there, would be to show what we really want to do with this world. What can you say? Smash Brothers Ultimate, everyone is here. Say no more, fam.
And I'm hearing they're gonna do. I'm hearing everybody's coming back in the next one.
I mean, if they could pull it off, it's
No, no,
over.
no, 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 no. I mean, they have to protect. They need to pay this man. His health insurance needs to be like hyperbolic time chamber and like you get the $1 million pills that you just need to take every every 6 months, and you don't need to even eat food again. Oh, you don't have to drink water, just up,
Yeah, just for you,
and
Sakurai.
you're good.
Just for
Just for you, Sakura.
you.
Yeah, yeah. To move on, bro. I personally, man, is I'm over it, man. I'm just like I'm so over it that I'm gonna sell my I'm selling my I'm gonna sell my gamer tag, man.
Mm,
I don't know if I could separate the gamer tag from the email. If I could do that and add a
hmm.
new email for it, I'm gonna do that and just release it because
Yeah. I,
this well, I don't care. I mean, all that progress. I'm just gonna buy. I'm just gonna migrate to certain games. I'm just not gonna play anymore. I'm just gonna write the list of games that I'm gonna play again, and then I'll just play it on PC.
I was gonna say, I was like, you could just relive the magic on
Yeah,
PC.
that's it for free.
Yeah, yeah.
I
My
don't care about putting my pirate hat on. Listen, I
allegedly.
don't care. Allegedly, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll allegedly eat this devil fruit and allegedly
Yeah, yeah.
Mark 5 fruit. You know what I'm saying?
My heart
Catch
goes
me if you
out to
can.
the 9,000 people who found out they don't have a job. Um, my heart goes out to the creative teams that spent half a decade working on something that will never see the light of day. Um,
Yeah,
my heart goes out to the people who found any type of joy in Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox. Just get it on PS5. Just buy a PS5. This is not good news. What's the point? Why?
there's actually no place where I feel like it's a haven anymore. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, for another day of like
But
what happens to the next Hideo Kojima when he's just like, I'm not doing games. Do you see this? I'm going into tech. Why would I even? Mm-mm. No, 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 no. That's a big gap in my LinkedIn resume. Mm-mm. No, 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 no.
I think for me, if you can't beat this first stage, bro, you're not getting hired. This is my requirement for this gaming. I need to know you're a gamer. I'm not having somebody here. I want you to run games and run finances. Yeah, yeah.
You're right.
I want hybrids only.
And
And if you can't do that, good. What we used to work at you CEO of Target. What do you want here? Well, I just saw the opportunity. No, no. Goodbye. Get out of here. Go
yeah,
forever. That's how I feel. And then, well, you can't do anything without. Hey, listen, man, I mean, I'll say it offline, off air, but if I could hire Agent 47 to do some dirty work, I would.
yeah. Save it for off air. Save,
You know,
save for
I would
off
hire
air.
Agent 47 in my video game, of course. You know,
To move on to, I guess, adjacent news. What are your thoughts on? I mean, I guess it speaks to the industry as a whole. The stop killing games movement gaining more and more legs every day.
nah, I think it's justified, 1,000%. Like I paid for this. Um, Tell me it's a rental without saying all this extra banter.
Yeah,
Just say it's a rental.
yeah.
There should be a law against that as well, of not being clear. And I think it's gonna come to that. Like, yo,
It's
why am
coming.
I reading 17 lines
It's
of
coming.
what? No. Tell me yes or no. And we'll go on from there. But back to the point at hand, back to the I think it's justified. And I think if it does listen, here's what I really believe. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna go raw. I'm gonna get into it. These companies that think they're invincible, they are not. They're not. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the thing is, there's a formula that people, for whatever reason, they're just ignoring. This is a rule of life. if you do not, if you don't respect the people buying from you, they won't buy from you.
Correct.
It's a two-way street, and the customer knows when they're overreaching,
Yeah.
and and but the companies never do,
Never, never.
which to me goes to two. It leads to two things. There's a disconnect within the product, and the people who should be there aren't there. You like how many times do we have people in positions that they know you don't care about this. Leave. Do something else. Do something
But
else,
Jory,
please.
the money.
This money is allocated for people that want and believe in this
Yeah.
brand. Like, yeah, no, get out of here. I'm sorry, man. For me, I'm just building a different culture. Listen, hey, what games have you played? I played Mario. Get out. If you can beat my janitor, if you beat my janitor in Mario Kart, the job's yours.
Mm.
If not, I think there's another opportunity for you at a Sears. Wait, oh, Sears doesn't exist anymore. I wonder why. Wonder why.
Yeah. I, I I mean, it speaks to something that we were brought up a couple pods ago, where I'm like, I think and I think I know that gamers in general have been given some of the worst conditions for the product that they enjoy. Buggy releases, unfinished games, shovelware, vaporware, right? And we're just kind of we're supposed to grin and bear it essentially. And I think things like Stop Killing Games it's a nice push in the opposite direction of all I'm telling you is when this game, now granted, there's certain games that are going to be an exception, right? I don't expect to have an offline version of Marvel Rivals. That doesn't make any sense, right? There was a game that came out when I was in college that my roommate bought, or one of my roommates bought, called Mag. It was like one of the first battle royale games. It was online only at all times. The servers went down. It is what it is, right? Like certain games going in what you're paying for. But you're telling me that a game cannot have some type of offline mode. So if I ever want to revisit it, and people are gonna say, "Oh, but think about it realistically." Like Anthony, like when's the last time you went to go back to play the old game? I'm like, well, given
No,
this,
that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. When's the last time did I use the soap detergent on the comforter that's all the way in the attic?
right,
It's coming out one day. That's irrelevant.
right,
That's irrelevant. Tell that to my mom who got the Chinaware over there. Mom, you never use it. No, 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 no. It's irrelevant. She bought it.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
irrelevant.
DVDs, I still have them. All it takes is oh, I do still have this collection, and I press
Oh, it's
play.
Christmas break. Christmas break. Thanksgiving weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off. Let's watch Rush Hour.
Yeah, I bought it, and
I bought
I
it,
own it,
and
and I have access to it for as long as it's there.
you still got a Blu-ray player? Yeah. You want to know why? Because I still got DVDs.
Right. I still got a CD player because I still got CDs.
And guess what? It still kind of sounds better
There's a reason
than
why
my digital
vinyls come.
analog.
That's the reason why vinyl came back in style. I
And you see that, right? You know, Gen Z reportedly are playing older games.
Yeah.
I have somebody I know. They were talking to me about Sonic Adventure Battle 2 as if it came out. Those were the exact same phrases I said at his age.
You need that.
There's just something happening with innovation to where there's the game loop is not appealing to anybody anymore. The games that do it succeed. The games that don't, they just don't.
No, for
And
sure.
then you scratch your head as to why you make a game knowing it has bugs, and you saying that you're the former X team of a Rockstar development team doesn't help, especially if it's not going to have that level of presentation. Especially
Especially, go ahead.
Especially if you already seen games that are like, yo, people are asking for this type of version in this type of world. Why don't we give it to them?
Especially in a post cyberpunk world, game wise.
That's
Especially
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
And you choose
The
to
bar
go.
is here.
Yeah, did you not see Elysium? You could have just gave me Matt Damon the game. You could have pulled from that. Halo pulled from Terminator. Halo pulled from RoboCop. Look at Master Chief's armor. Halo pulled from Aliens 2.
To circle back just for a second to Helldivers, right? You know something is off. There's a growing disconnect between publisher and consumer when PlayStation doesn't think to themselves that here's the data. Most gamers now are in their 30s, which means they were raised in the 90s. What came out in the 90s? Starship Troopers. What's a meme that continues to live on in today's internet? I'm doing my part,
And
and you didn't think that a bunch of millennials were not going to want to play a game that channels the spirit of Starship Troopers?
can I say something else?
What?
You're the same company that tells us we don't know what we're talking about because you guys have the data. But you guys have computers telling you what people want and you still get it wrong.
You
Don't
were
tell me about
shocked
it.
that
Don't
Helldivers still
tell
sold?
don't don't tell me about you having the data because you don't know what to do with it,
The
you know?
tagline is we're bringing democracy to these alien, and you did not think that was going to work? What? Oh man, stop killing games, man. Stop thinking that this whole
You know,
game is
you
gonna
know,
roll
so
over. It's
you
this
know it's
those
so
days
sad.
are coming to an end.
You know it's so sad, man. Halo could have been Helldivers before Helldivers.
Halo should have been Helldivers before Helldivers.
Halo should also have been Destiny before Destiny, but that's another story. But no, but again, you don't have the right people in the right places. Listen, listen. Hold up. This is for. I'm gonna say this boldly. I'm robbing all of y'all. As soon as I get the bread, I'm robbing all of y'all. I'm gonna make a game called Balo. Sounds familiar? I'm gonna make a game called Blecken. Sounds familiar? Play with it, man. It's easy if you me or if you think like me. There's one in Japan that's like, yeah, I like this guy. There's one in India, my brother. There's one in Pakistan right now. They're like, yo, I want to invest. There's one in Dubai listening to me right now. Find this man. He will make a good game for the people. He resonates.
And there's just certain things of like it's just so circular, right? It's like there is no Dissidia without Airgies enter the ring.
Did you know? Did you know that God of War got their inspiration from a game called? Oh man, he has a shield that he throws. I'll
Shield.
send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a shield. He throws it, and it has a it's connected to a chain,
Mm.
and he fights with it just like Kratos.
It's just it's this it's
And it's like the reason why, and which wasn't a bad game, but there's just stuff God of War did that was just
no, yeah, yeah, right. And I'm
better.
not saying
But
that, right? I'm like, that's not to say like, oh man, tomorrow they got to bring back Brave Fencer Musashi. There's something is, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like
no, no, no,
there's this
no, no. It's
spirit
just
of these
like
things
that.
you can channel into a modern time, and it's going to work.
There's a new game. I don't know when it's coming out, but I saw something on Twitter and it was. I'm like, yo, this should have been Prince of Persia. The woman threw the dagger in the air, flipped. You don't think for a second it makes sense to stop making Assassin's Creed and pull that team to do Prince of Persia? You know, a lot of people picked Assassin's Creed because they knew it was Prince of Persia-esque.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily have the most action-packed platform game of all time. Don't let Star Wars Survivor beat you to it, because it's yeah, yo, no, I really enjoyed a lot of that platform section
Mm-hmm.
before us,
Mm-hmm.
especially those little trials. I said, yo, I'm feeling this. Don't let them by mistake create something useful. So back to Helldivers.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah,
go
the
fully
data.
back to Helldivers,
Well,
but
yeah, no,
yeah.
not fully back to Helldivers, but the idea of like following data that you guys pride yourself in, but don't know how to use it.
Yeah. And to tie it to the stop killing games, I'm like, you don't think? I guess the thing is like you keep hoping for blind customer loyalty, but the best you're gonna get is customer loyalty, and that should be enough. You're not the days of the blind consumption of your products are coming to a very swift, and people are more informed than ever before. People are. It's not the one gaming friend in the corner who knows every single game. No, most people play some type of video game. Most people have access and use YouTube on the daily. Oh, I heard about this new Mario. Let me see what my favorite content creator is saying about it. What? It's trash.
And you're also now building a subtle hesitation and resistance to even buying your game.
That
I'm gonna
doesn't
get
need to
it on
be
sale.
there.
That doesn't need to be there. I'm not buying this game day one. Oh, you want to put this much effort into the game? No. What's this? Death Stranding? Well, you could do that. Okay, makes sense. But you want to get Grand Theft Auto numbers day one.
I was just thinking Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, and the thing is, I think the misconception and like again the wrong people looking at it, it's like they're like, well, we can't, they're gonna spend like $1 billion on Grand Theft Auto. We can't do what they're doing. Like, no, you don't. Again, tying things back to the Phil
You don't get
statement,
there.
you get there brick by brick by brick.
And you want to know something else that Grand Theft Auto does that a lot of people don't quite understand? Grand Theft Auto got there by being themselves
Mm-hmm.
and innovating by being themselves. Another thing they don't understand is that didn't they make $1 billion in like one day?
Yeah.
They already paid for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah. They're cashing in on their earned loyalty.
And to compare, and then like the pandemic, gave energy and momentum to an explosion because everybody's trapped in the house all day.
Mm-hmm.
So now when everybody got free, they dropped the hobbies because they weren't really a part of them. Some stayed, some didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You also didn't provide anybody a reason to stay. There weren't anything innovative thing. You were just there was. It's not like they had 20 new games to play that were utilizing the momentum or the power of these new consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're saying, hey, listen, guys, the PlayStation 6 is upon us. Excuse me?
Yeah. Yeah.
The brick behind me ain't doing nothing. The white tower ain't doing nothing. The Kaiba coat ain't doing nothing. It's just there. And the black the black reboot brick ain't doing anything either. They're not showing anything.
But you got a new
Like
one
I
for
just
me.
it's just you got a new one for me. And then the games, the innovation of the games is not hitting. You guys try to do stuff to where you're not yourselves anymore. Just give people what they want. Like, just side note, people want a vibrant Monster Hunter. Did not ask for Monster Hunter sepia skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's killing the moment. That's what gravitated me to the first one. The color, the vibrance. I'm not gonna look at I'm not reading Berserk every day. That's once a month. And then guess what? I watch Dragon Ball Z.
Mm,
I need the color. I rather look at Pokemon, even though I hate the storyline. Right? I rather look at that because there's color there.
mm,
Like there's vibrancy. I mean, One Piece. I could watch that all day. It's alive, right? And so a lot of like Astrobot, it's alive.
mm-hmm.
The colors are alive. The game's alive. You can feel the intention there. You can feel the intention for the Expedition 33 game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just evident. And so, yeah, like
Yeah. So let's move on to our community question, and then we'll do our quick anime topic and call it a night. Now
okay.
let me make sure I have this correct. We had a topic suggestion. I posted a post, which again, people are more than welcome to either email us or comment on our post certain things that they want to see us discuss, certain things you might have overlooked that you guys think that you will want to get our opinions on. We are more than happy to at least, to the best of our abilities, give a little bit of knowledge. Let me see what was said. What was said. What was said. Mm. I know the gist of it, and if I really can't find it, I will just go with the gist of it. But it was pretty recent, so I think I can pull it up. Okay, the statement was it's pretty lengthy, but not too bad. So now that Sony owns one of the major esports leagues and has been a predominant sponsor in fighting game tournaments and is about to produce one of the most anticipated 2D fighters in years, do you think there is a space for a console exclusive fighting game still? In the wake of Helldivers 2 being one of the most successful live service games and one of my all-time favorites going to Xbox, what does that mean for Sony's approach? I feel like they would have added pressure from a partner like Marvel/Disney, such as what happened with MLB The Show and MLB twisting Sony's arm into releasing those outside of PlayStation. Side note, I honestly think MLB stepping in might have given Sony the idea to consider PC ports and the money they were missing out on. So, S Rank, I'll let you answer that question first. What do
I
you think
think I think I think I think Marvel might apply pressure.
for the somewhat multi-platform release?
Yeah. Hmm.
But do you think it's like a
Only, only if, but being what's happening right now with Microsoft, I don't think the numbers are there. Sports is more promising since everybody has an Xbox. Back to what we said, like we're weirdos to people who actually own games.
hmm,
Because most of our friends, you ask them, yo, what you play? Madden. You don't play anything else? Nah.
yeah.
What do they watch? Love Island. The Power. We're not dealing with people that's very creative,
Mm,
visually. They don't understand certain concepts. They, and then their personality is that's it.
yeah.
So I think if Marvel, I think just if Marvel wants every nook and cranny to be able to give me a flowing river, then yeah, they'll apply pressure.
Mm,
Um, I can also see them. Hey, if since we did this with this, like, what will happen to Spider-Man? Let's apply some pressure down with that. Maybe we shouldn't do these exclusives anymore. This is just, hey, we're just gonna hire. We want to go for you guys. Listen, here's what we want. We're gonna pay you a little bit more money than we should, but we want it to release everywhere. To me, if I'm Marvel, why would I limit myself like that? It didn't make any sense to me.
no,
But
uh,
at the time, now, right now in this climate, I see that happening. I see the breach happening
yeah. I
with
would
certain IPs.
I would agree with that. I think to again going back to way back to at the beginning of this part, what I said I think applies of like even though again some people have been somewhat priced out, you are seeing more and more and more people migrate to PC, right? We spoke about this when it came to Rebirth. Rebirth didn't really start selling like that until it hit PC. So I think you're right that Marvel's gonna be like, why in the world would we want to be owning it on a console when we're seeing the numbers we're seeing for the Tokon reveal? Put it on PC day one. I actually would not be surprised if we see it on Switch too. Like you said, Xbox, I doubt it. Xbox is more. It's not even like there's anything wrong with Xbox. Xbox still, in terms of one for one competition, would be closer to a PS5 than the other two, because the PC community is not really like, they're not really console users, and then the Switch 2 or the Switch community either just only has a Switch or has a Switch and has something else, which is probably a PS5. So to me, I'm like, I can see in terms of multi-platform, to answer the question, I definitely see a lot more PS5 PC day ones than anything else, and maybe a Switch 2 port down the road, depending on the game.
I just think the Switch community is not there for like competitive. It's not. I would never want to play a competitive game on the Switch. I would do that on a ROG Ally before
Right, but I think
anything.
I think just for the convenience, right? Of like, at some point, it's like if you wanted to get your kid into a fighting game, and you're like, I want you to play it on an account that you don't ever accidentally hit ranked lobby on. Here's your Switch. You can play Tokon on here, and Dad will play Tokon on the big screen. That way, we can both play as Gundam Iron Man. Okay, sound good?
Okay. Okay.
Like,
All right. Yeah, man. I just think it's not convenient anymore. Like, it was nonsensical from the very beginning, to be honest with you. But since it's a Sony studio, at the time it made sense.
hmm?
Now it doesn't because your games cost too much to make now.
Yeah, you need as
That
much money
I did
coming
not
back as
know
possible.
Spider-Man cost that much, and that's what you needed to make the first Grand Theft Auto 5. So I'm like, with what I'm doing, either either part of that budget went to the advertisement because
I don't think so. I don't think that
that's
was
just for
accounting
the
for
game
advertising.
straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, man. So what I'm doing in that game doesn't compare to what you do in the Grand Theft Auto 5. So it's like it's weird, but I understand it's a different game, but at the same time still like you know,
No, yeah, yeah.
something's not adding up, man. These budgets are being overspent like some of these movies.
Oh,
Um
for sure.
yeah, like when I found out that this thing was rivaling James Cameron's CGI effects, and this guy did it within like no, it only took us 6 months to get it done loaded. What's the movie called again? Was
Oh, it's the one you were telling me about with Denzel's son.
Yeah,
Um
Creator.
yeah.
That was my favorite movie of that year. Because I watched it with the X screen on the
Mm,
Regal Cinema.
mm,
Oh man, I'll never do 4DX again.
mm,
Yeah, I like 4DX for Spider-Man, which was cool,
mm.
but I just want to eat my popcorn in peace.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
want my straw to stab me in
Ooh,
the back of the throat.
yeah.
So, so yeah, man. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna last exclusive for fighting games.
It doesn't
It's
make
pointless.
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and fighting games should all go live service.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's to be fair to the person's question, I do think it's a little bit of mixed messaging, because you have this Tokon Fighting Souls coming to PS5, PSC, sorry, PS5, PC day one, but in that same showcase, you announced a Sony Fight Stick, where it's like, are you doing this just to kind of stay in the Evo ecosystem, or are you doing this because at some point you plan on making fighting games specifically for PS5 only? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the thing where I'm like,
I think
it
that's
does get a
genius.
little tricky.
Why don't we have a fighting stick? We own the FGC.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it could be read either way. Of like, it's only a natural progression of, you own all these esport events. You might as well drop your own version. Or it's, I'm gonna drip feed y'all a little bit until it all comes to one place. I don't know, right? And like, again, given PlayStation's track record,
Sony's history.
you
Yeah.
don't know sometimes.
I think it's the second half of what you said.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. Come into this net. Yeah, yeah. Come.
mm-hmm.
You feel me? I
Yeah,
really feel like yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, I definitely see it happening. I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man came,
it's PC day one. Actually,
to the box.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if Sony's still, well, you know what, Spider-Man might not because it's still heavily Sony based. So, okay. But they if in one way or another, maybe Dokkan, the Tokon, I could probably see that before Xbox. But if Sony's funding it, then probably maybe not. Then
I mean, I think at the end of the day, right, the business realities of certain things of like, if I can get a percentage off of it, I don't really care, right? I think that that's the other part of it. Of like, if Sony's still credited as the publisher and it goes to PC, y'all still got to pay me regardless.
okay.
So might as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, might as well make a little extra back on, like on the back end. That's how I would think about it. But again, we don't know like the splits, right? Of like apparently, not only did the Spider-Man game cost that much, but Marvel's chunk of that profit is a little bit higher than Sony's chunk of that profit.
Oof. Nah, then we not doing business, man. Like, I don't know.
But it's a console
Yeah.
seller, so like it's like do you eat it on the game side to win on the console side? It's hard to say
Mm,
sometimes. People legit bought the Spider-Man themed PS5s when Spider-Man 2 came out, so it's it's a little tricky, a little dicey
yeah. And then you have the system could actually be customized with different
with
colors.
different plates
Like,
and things like that. Yeah,
I think yeah, well, versus Xbox just being the one color. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I hope that answers the question. I do think that yes, this will not be the last of Sony's foray into PC. Um, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see Ghost of Yote being announced as PC day one. To be honest with you guys,
It should.
yeah,
It should
I
like that. It should have never been either, and then you wait later. You killed the momentum of your Final Fantasy game.
hmm,
Um, I think Final Fantasy should have never gone through what it went through, but it did, and it costed its sales because
yep,
now you have divided communities
yep,
and people who don't want to be spoiled are being spoiled. That kills a lot of, believe it or not, spoilers still hurt people. There's people who won't go on YouTube for 3 weeks
yeah,
until they start playing the game.
yeah. Now imagine 6 months because you're waiting for the it to come over and
I made sure I typed Elden Ring in one time. And then after that, I didn't watch any trailers after that.
yeah.
I wanted to see everything for myself. And I'm glad I did that.
That's all it is me right now with Expedition 33. I bought it. I haven't started playing it yet, but I'm like I have
Mm.
not watched a thing. I don't want like I don't want spoilers. Like, oh, there's a plot twist. Don't tell me. I'm not looking it
Let
up.
me ask
I'm
you a
not.
question.
Yeah.
Being that you see a lot of the arguments now is like, this is all we wanted from Final Fantasy. I wouldn't have played Final Fantasy.
What you mean?
I had it played like Expedition 33.
You wouldn't have played it?
No, I would play Expedition 33, but I don't want that world with those characters to play like that. That's how I feel.
I think it depends on the game.
Yeah.
I think
I like what we got with these remakes.
yeah.
I love it.
I think the thing that's cool about Final Fantasy, and I think it works in its favor, is that because every single installment is so drastically different in terms of world, setting, characters, universe, there are certain installments that just lend better to a more turn based. Like right now, there's a rumor that there's a remake for 9 coming, and that's going to be turn based. I don't really need to see 9 in open world. Versus, I would kind of want to see 10 redone like Rebirth. Of like, I want to take Titus, kick the blitzball off my leg. Meanwhile, Walker's serve it over here, and we're just like there's certain. I think that's the beautiful thing about the Final Fantasy world. Is like there's certain games that lend itself more towards a real time versus a counter parry system, and I think there's room for both.
I like that. And I think there's room for both, man. I don't know the gentleman's name, but he definitely campaigned for the classic RTS. I'm not RT, yeah, but I really don't agree with that. And
Yeah,
I don't think I
Hit him
am
with a hand on the shoulder. Hey, yo, it's over.
y-
It's over, my guy. It's over. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go, my man. All right. To switch topics real to our last topics of the night, just some real quick hitters of just the various anime topics. My Hero Academia is getting at least one last console game. Another arena fighter. My Hero All's
mm,
Justice.
mm.
The three quill into the One's Justice series. Looking like everyone's all here. Still kind of the same wonky graphics. Granted, better looking, but still. CyberConnect 2 knows what they're doing, is what I'll say. Like when it comes to anime graphics. Do you think that this game can do anything in terms of breathing a little bit more life into the franchise?
No, no, it's dead.
Yeah,
It's dead. Listen, it's dead. My Hero Academia is a dead franchise. There's no momentum. The word "put the fries in the bag" became the most used words ever since then.
they've been calling your main character Mick Doria. That's crazy.
You lost. Once he turned into Ben 10 with the spiritual Omnitrix stand, I tuned out, man.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can turn myself
nah.
into a fog machine. I have spider sense, literally.
I'm Spider-Man with the symbiote shadow. Nah, nah, nah.
I have a gear shift quirk that allows me to temporarily surpass my limits so I can KO cannon stick shift. Like, what are we talking about? I can fly?
And I can fly. Well, I don't want this. I don't want this. Yeah, that turned me off, man. I'll be honest with you.
Mm,
That arc killed everything for me. Once I saw him do was it a full cowl? Yeah, it meant nothing means nothing. You already have a character that can do this. Just tell the story.
mm-hmm.
My favorite season, my favorite arc is the what's his name, man?
Stain?
Oh yeah. No, not Stain.
Mm.
Um and even with that, they fumbled that one. They
They did.
fumbled that one.
They did.
They fumbled that one. So it's like
Oh, you talking about overhaul?
overhaul. You fumbled that one. And then you had the best storyline which was in your movie, and that's where it should have stayed.
Yeah.
And then you guys do another movie with Evil All Might.
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
What do you think?
That should have been an arc.
Yeah. It it's
That's and
weird
it
because it stops itself just short of being really good. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird movie. I'm like, I don't not
should have
like
been
it,
that should have been an
but
arc.
I'm like, there's something here that's just
That was a deep concept. Like you built All Might to this level of like justice, and then you show this contradiction, giving him equal prowess, right? And I think that should have been some like, yo, this is an evil. All you could have built yourself a rogue gallery, my friend, which is what you needed, and then deal with them arcs later. Like I think Naruto did something that people quite didn't understand, and they didn't. They should have They could have. They should have executed it better than what Naruto did, because the Akatsuki was the best thing to happen to Shippuden.
mm,
Like where you had these villains that like, yo, nobody's taking these guys out yet. Not
oh,
yet.
they can't.
They
Oh,
can't. Yeah.
they're taking on tail beasts themselves. Oh,
And I'm like, yeah, but I know you're not the main villain. I know you're not. But we're not getting any movement here.
yeah.
Yeah, like when Ichigo thought he was gonna go swat up on Isaac because he main character, and you what's his name? Your Korea, what's his name? But he with the all pale white dude,
Oh,
Yukiora,
the all pill. Oh, yeah, Ukiora.
Ukiora grab
Ukiora.
buddy. I said, nah, fam.
Yeah,
And then he find out that yo, you're not even number one, and you
yeah,
doing this to me?
yeah.
And yeah, that those moments where you like, well, Rock Lee dropped the weights, that you were doing that. And I think My Hero Academia fumbled a lot of they had very good concepts, man, but he didn't have editors around him.
First, I think it's again, it's always like it's the execution of certain things and being able to let go of a certain idea, right? Of like you were so focused on this yin and yang of powers that you're not realizing like, yo, your villain, your main villain does not, he's not interesting. No matter how much powers you give him, no matter how many much you advance his quirk, or he can dissolve a city by touch, like he's not interesting.
He's side character interesting. He's not
Yeah.
main character. Like he only works if you attach him to a greater plot.
Yes.
You only like him if he's attached to a greater plot.
I was more invested in what All for One's comeback strategy was than I was in him. I was convinced he wasn't going to be the last fight. I'm like, oh, All for One's going to take over his body, and there we go.
I rather that.
Like, yeah,
I rather yeah, I've seen it 1,000 times, but this one they did it right. But yeah, I don't think this game is gonna do anything. It didn't listen, man. You guys not doing anything that makes sense, man. Like y'all see what people asking for in Dragon Ball Z.
2D. And the thing
Y'all
is,
s-
to give it a
and
little
that's
bit of
easier
credit,
to manage.
yeah, to give it a little bit of credit, I think based on the things I've read, the One's Justice games have been one of the better arena fighters. I mean, it ain't no Jujutsu Kaisen in terms of horror. Like, it's pretty good, but I'm like, to your point of like, it's still an arena fighter. It's another anime arena fighter.
You want to do a good anime arena fighter? You want me to be real with you? You do it like I don't know if you ever played a game called Anarchy Reigns.
No, I the name sounds familiar, but I never played it.
Had they had a couple of more $1 million,
I actually like Arc System Works Arena Fighter. I don't know if you ever got a chance to play the Kill the Kill game. It's pretty good.
oh no, I haven't. Is it? Can I still buy it? Is it for the Xbox or PlayStation
I
only?
I think it's for both,
Okay, then
and you
I'll
probably get
buy
it
it.
for like $5. It's
Probably.
super cheap because it has a
I'll get
very
it.
small. Its biggest downfall is it has a very small roster, a very small
You
roster.
can't really do much with the
Right. I'm
Killer
like when
cast
I saw, I'm
anyway.
like this was not maybe the best one to.
I would have did Gurren Lagann
Yeah, which is but that's
slash
hard because then it's mechs versus. I don't know. I just
the mechs aren't that big, but they become okay, yeah. Well, oh yeah, no, towards the end, no, okay, yeah. All right, all right, all right.
yeah.
No, you could you yeah, you yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, one's justice. I mean, cool. We'll see. I feel like there was like another anime game I wanted to ask before we talked about anime proper. But I'm like, I can't think of anything. I'm like, I don't. Demon Slayer we'll talk more about when it gets released, I guess. The
Don't care.
Kakarot DLC, don't
Don't care.
care. Uh, Bleach is kind of dying. Rebirth of Souls,
It took too long to come out, man.
I agree.
No, but it took too long to come out and should have been 2D.
Uh, I'm not fully on board with that. I think the 3D works because it's not quite an arena fighter. It's arena fighter s. It's not quite. It's like a weird hybrid. I think the issue is just the. This is gonna sound crazy. It's the repetitiveness of the roster. Your first season pass character release is another Ichigo. Granted, it makes sense. It's the Ichigo from the Thousand Year Blood War arc. He has his powers, but it's the game already had three Ichigos.
Yeah, I mean this whole redundant error thing, bro. Like you gotta find. I think it comes down to presentation. I don't want to see nine of them. Have them hidden behind a as a skin. Like don't. I don't want to see nine of them in a row. And you tell them, yo, that's a slot. Like don't do that. And you know, a lot of these business decisions is just as simple, and
Yeah.
it just falls down to that. It just falls down to that. Like, yo, why don't you sell me Vegeta as a groove, as a power bar or a meter? Don't. Yeah, I'm not playing.
Look how much better the Sparking Zero roster menu looked like once they grouped them all together. Way better than seeing six Gokus in a row, five Vegetas, three Trunks. It's like, fam, what? What? Consolidate, please.
That your Mortal Kombat did that, and y'all don't listen to what's out there. Mortal Kombat did that with X. People didn't like it in Mortal Kombat, but it would work for Dragon Ball Z. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
This version of Kano has the laser eye focus and is focused on distance. This version of Goku is Kaioken, so he's gonna be up close and personal. His hand-to-hand combat is a lot better. Whatever.
Yeah, but we're assuming they try, right? That's the other part,
We just need money. That's it. I'm
right?
tired.
We're assuming they. I remember just real quick. I remember I had this idea for a Dragon Ball game, like an RPG s Dragon Ball game, and I think I wrote it
Like
down
the
in like a
Legacy of
notebook.
Goku.
A little bit better than that. A little bit more like fleshed out than that.
Okay, okay. And one
I
games, by the way.
no, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I haven't. I think I might have made that when I was like 10, 11, maybe 12. Let's just say 12 for argument's sake. I have not seen a game that mirrors what I have in that notebook
You're ahead of your time, man.
from
It's
20
okay.
years ago.
It's okay.
And it's like I think I found it a couple years ago. I'm like, it's not like the most overcomplicated. Again, Dragon Ball is mostly flurry of punches. I'm like, this is just obvious. But then you gave me Kakarot, which was
You could have
I
built
don't.
on sagas. Could have built on sagas.
eh, Anyway,
I mean, a Dragon Ball Z game where you play as the Great Saiyan Man.
but even more so than that, I don't know if you know there was this game that came out on the DS, the Attack of the Saiyans RPG. Look it up when you get
Better,
a chance.
better than Legacy of Goku. Yeah. Oh, that was my game, bro.
Yeah,
Legacy of Goku was my dog. That was a sleeper. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Mm.
So it's but it never got a sequel. I'm like, I don't understand. You have all the Z Warriors. Tien has unique moves. Yamcha has unique moves. Krillin has unique moves. It's not just the Goku show. And you don't make a sequel. Dragon Ball Fusions didn't sell enough to get a sequel.
And I'm assuming it did.
I would assume so as well. But
Very interesting concept.
yeah, and some of the designs weren't bad. I thought I would hate the Goku and Broly fusion. I didn't.
And Boma created the fusion bands.
Yeah,
Boma
yeah,
utilizing the character in a genius way.
yeah.
I'm robbing y'all boys. I hope you understand. I'm coming. I'm robbing y'all boys. I'm taking the ideas that you should have did, and I'm just gonna rebrand them. And you're gonna know
Yeah.
where I got it from, where I got the idea from.
Heavily
Because I
inspired
want you,
by.
I kind of want you
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah,
Because you know what I'm saying. Because
yeah.
like you guys could have done this all the time. I
Yeah.
should not be the guy doing this, but hey, you guys don't want to do it. Fine,
Yeah.
fine.
So S rank, before we get out of here, tell me why they fumbled yet again by giving Fist of the North Star reboot the
Oh
CGI treatment.
my goodness.
Berserk
You got
2001
another 30
treatment.
minutes? You got another 30 minutes?
Let's you got 10. This is 10.
All right. So I don't understand. Like these people, people who are in charge of these things, man. I don't think they understand what they're doing. You need to hire people who are who are fans of. That's the easier way. Killer
Yeah.
Instinct came about because those guys loved Killer Instinct. So the you didn't have to ask them for much.
Hmm.
The people that made Helldivers, they wanted to make a game in the lights of their favorite films from the 90s. You didn't have to ask them for much. You get a term being blown around. These Fist of the North Star is what sparked a lot of mangakas that we like now. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style looks like that for a reason.
Yep.
Dragon Ball Z was also inspired by Mr. North Star, right? Like
Yep.
it's night and day. He inspired a lot of the action series that we see now. That's in fact a lot of our favorite mangaka. You ask him, oh, Fifth of the North Star was amazing. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. To have a term being used, Nani? I got my students at the time when I was an instructor, they would say that. Learning more Japanese words than I did because of that anime, not even knowing where it came from.
Mm-hmm. And that's before the memes.
Before the memes blew up. This was form talk. Now you have the memes even amplifying it now. Omae no shinri.
Yep.
And for you to say and treat one of the pillars of manga anime, to treat a pillar of that stature with the art that detailed. Nobody was drawing like Buddy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
To treat his anime in such a manner to where like you don't put any of the big names behind it to celebrate its livelihood, or to celebrate what it meant to you as a manga, to turn it into a CGI fest, a trash one at that. Y'all didn't think of like, yo, if we're gonna do CGI, maybe we should hire the team that did Trigun.
Yeah. Didn't like his
If
hairstyle, but it looked good.
if we're gonna do CGI, maybe we should start it like there's no reason why Kung Fu Panda should have better animation and fight scenes and set pieces than what I'm gonna see in this anime.
How can I channel the spirit of Buddy rustling through the hay to pull it back and see Kentro just staring blank faced? And it does a dramatic close up. And he's
And
staring.
this is in the 70s, the 80s, I mean. And to treat something like I never liked Fist of the North Star until I started seeing like, yo, you never watched Fist of the North Star? Bro, you have to watch it. That's what got me into anime. I'm like, yo, what? No, you have to watch Fist of the North Star. I'm reading my favorite mangaka's favorite mangas was Fist of the North Star. Ora, 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 ora. Where you think he got that from? That's my favorite stand, Kenshiro.
Yeah.
And then I finally watched Fist of the North Star. The story, I thought Buddy was so shallow character. Wait, that's the deepest. The story is so fire. It's everything I love from a kung fu movie. This is Peng Jin, leader of the first clan of the fifth hand, learning his new technique under his master's control. But his master soon perished. Everything I love about that area of kung fu cinema is in this series. They got a technique to where, of course, there's pressure points, as you can see,
Yeah. Throws
and
the
you blow up.
arrow and yeah.
There's a character that he does it on, right?
Mm.
And it doesn't work on him. Nobody knows why. Till you find out later he has a birth defect. His heart is in the opposite side. And because Kenshiro's right-handed, the tech, I cried, dog. I cried. I didn't feel this way since Kenshin fought Shishio.
Mm.
Like there's like I didn't feel this way since Sasuke. Ever since Sasuke used electricity to neutralize the plastic mines that were underneath the ground when he fought Dieter.
Mm.
I didn't feel this way in a while. But it was just reading the like. It's not just it's hands, and I can't do that to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah.
It's oh man. And then it make I say, yo, I could see why somebody will never pick up a weapon in anime and like not have a weapon-based anime. It makes I'm like, man, I might even change.
Why do you think Jujutsu Kaisen is working so well? The initial art of all their fights are them throwing hands. 90%. Gojo's domain is the simplest thing in the world, but it works. He is a menace.
Oh man, like to treat Fist of the North Star like that and to give it the CGI. Like we don't come to Japan for CGI, and you guys don't even do it better than the West.
They
It is
don't. They
trash.
don't. They don't. I'm not gonna
I'm
say
reading the
don't
comp.
keep trying, but it's like,
Um,
fam,
you guys
it
don't want to spend no money.
you yeah.
I'm reading the comments, and then they were like, and this is really the Japanese was like, man, the West really has high expectations for us. This is not good. And then somebody was like, "Oh man, don't worry about the haters. I had the veto dog.
Mm,
I found buddy. Say, hey yo, please leave, leave the comment section. No, no, you gonna get this work today. We gotta talk to you, dog. Like this, we went, dog. You know what they did? They went on the channel. They went on the page because it was in Japanese. I was reading it. He said, "Man, I saw the funniest meme. It was a character from the show, obviously, where he plucked out his own eyes."
mm.
And he said, seeing that in the forums, this is not going to be good for the. No, it's done. This is the same WB team that did what did they do? It's a WB team that did this game. It's a WB anime that's behind it. Warner Brothers is
Oh,
doing it, and I was like, no, Warner Brothers Japan. I like Batman Ninja for Batman Ninja because I didn't take it serious, but I'm not asking for CGI. I do not want to see CGI Kenshiro. I want to see drawn Kenshiro. Like I would have hired the team from Ufoldable, the team that does the Fate Stay Nights.
UFO table. You said that
UFO
last time.
table, sorry.
Yeah, UFO
Oh
table.
yeah, UFO table. Why don't you hire them? Like, do you see the Fate Stay Nights fight scenes?
They too busy cooking up peak with the Demon Slayer movie, bro. That's
Which is
what it
fine.
is.
And yo, those seasons, the last season
Cooking up
with the
peak.
Ninja Man, you can't tell. Like my heart was beat. I read the manga,
I know how this ends, and I'm still at the edge of my seat.
and like now I'm feeling the feelings that I felt. I'm like, dog, buddy lost his arm, dog. Like he can't be. He had to retire, and it was just like
Not
heartbreaking.
only his arm and his eye.
In his eye, and possibly a wife, but
Yeah,
lucky him.
yeah.
Lucky him. But yeah, I say all that to say, like, you don't treat Fist of the North Star like this. I just don't get it, man. And you could have done like I don't care what anybody says. What Strangers in Paradise?
Yeah.
I can't believe I went by that IGN review. I was so mad at myself when I started. I said, "Yo, this
You
game is Gang Star, bro."
it's the little things like that that led to the rise of the content creators of like, oh, you guys just don't play anime games.
Y'all just
I
don't
can't.
play games.
Yeah.
Y'all don't
You
play
don't play. Yeah,
games.
you don't watch anime. You're sitting there playing, you know, uh how do they used to mispronounce, especially Naruto. They used to be like, what's it? Naruto. They call it Naruto, Sasuke,
Yeah, like when you
and
start reading
Kakashi.
stuff in
You're
the
like,
English
wait, what?
dialect, I'm like, yo, that's not how you pronounce it over there in
Yeah.
Japan, fam. It's disrespectful, buddy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You say
It's
Enrique
just
with the Spanish accent, all right? Because you try to say it any other way, like it's disrespectful, right?
yeah.
My name is Jose. Say
Yeah.
it. Say it.
Yusuke Hakusho.
They
Hakusho.
don't say Hey Jose. No, you say Jose. Okay, it's pronounced H. You feel me? Like, yo, kid, stop disrespecting the people. Like, say like his name is Ryu Hayabusa. don't Ryu. Like, no, it's Ryu. Y'all had me saying it wrong.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but what you don't, and you 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 ruin an opportunity of momentum to get people into what they're into. I believe JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is popular for one reason, as it is, because of the memes that was going wrong in those videos, to be continued videos that was going around 2010 era. And then when
Be-
we found out
because they played into what was already naturally there.
in the actual anime,
Yes.
and they didn't do, you didn't take this momentum to do that into Fist of the North Star. Like the whole Nani, that should have been the most focused episode to get people into watching the rest of the Fist of the North Star. Because there's a deep story there, man.
Hmm.
Do you know how the last villain dies in the series?
Don't tell me I haven't watched it yet, so I need to watch it. Don't spoil it.
It's hard to watch though. It's hard
I
to get
mean,
through.
I'm sure the pacing is horrific, but
But it is enjoyable.
yeah, I'm
Because
sure
you
the
have to,
pacing is horrific.
yeah,
Like
it's
I
very
sometimes I do kind of empathize with people who are like, I can't watch the OG Dragon Ball. Like, look, I get it. When they're showing Master Roshi throwing his kick 6 times, it's like I get it. It's
yeah, yeah.
it's rough.
Uh like or like watching the first episodes of the Gundam,
Yeah,
like Gundam 008. Like I ain't
yeah,
watching Speed
yo,
Racer Gundam. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not watching that
yeah.
Speed Racer
I
animation.
get it. It's I
Yeah.
but that's to your point. I'm like, but this was your chance to reintroduce it in a way for modern eyes. That's why JoJo worked or works is because it's like they put it in a modern setting, even though it's a 80s and 90s manga, because they're doing it with the sensibility. They're staying true to the source material while also still keeping it updated. Where it's like you're playing the intro, they playing what was the song that they played during the
Oh,
ending?
Casey and JoJo.
Casey and JoJo, bro. Like they
That
know,
they
they
are them. They
know.
won. What? My homie's girlfriend started watching it because she said, "Is that Casey and JoJo?" And she started watching it. Now, guess what?
You got to know what how the sauce was was cooked up and just execute the recipe sometimes.
Y'all got kids saying, "Nani?" Now they could see where it came from. Like Fist of the North Star has some of the craziest memes. I just have to put up a picture, and everybody know what I'm talking about. Buddy in
Yeah.
the haystack. Cause you
That's
about to
it.
get this work. That's it. That's it.
Just a
And we
Kenshiro standing with eyes shadow. I just
and you look at Kenshiro and you like, yo, this dude is anime Bruce Lee. You're dead. You're dead.
yeah.
Like like you fight anime Mike Tyson. Okay, yeah, of course you can punch a building in half. You can do it in real life.
Except in Baki apparently because,
Except which can have certain
right.
colored man being the
Well, no, that's not
strongest.
true because for as much as they downplayed him, you know what? Let me not say that.
He was a bodybuilder, bro.
No. I'm gonna say like I almost said that they oversold Muhammad Ali, but they didn't. I'm like y'all had Muhammad Ali.
No, but he was wrong.
No,
Like,
that's how I'm
you
saying.
feel me? Like
It's I'm
I would
conflicted of
expect,
like I do expect him to be able to fight Baki's dad, but at the same time I'm like, fam.
you feel me? Like anime Pacquiao, like good luck.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
You can treat anime Pacquiao like a Hokage at this point. They did it in
yeah,
real life, dog. Like, what are
yeah.
you
Baki's
gonna,
dad being like, my greatest regret is I don't get to fight you at your peak. I'm like, man,
uh,
that's fire.
insulting?
Yeah,
That's insulting, man. No, man,
yeah,
I'm not having that. But anyway, like, yeah, man. You know,
yeah. So we can wrap up
that's
the
how I
episode,
feel. Yeah,
bro.
we can wrap it
Yeah,
up, man. But
but I'm with you. I'm
shame,
with you.
shame,
Yeah.
shame. There's an
Hmm.
OVA that they did. They all they had to do was just add movement. These still shots. It's the record of Ragnarok team that's doing it.
Well,
It's dead. It's in a coffin. It's in a coffin. I hope they postpone it. They cancel it because if you roll that out, it's dead.
Hasn't worked for Record of Ragnarok. Hasn't worked for Kengan Asura. It's just
Yeah,
stop it.
King and
Stop it.
Ashura, they just listen. People like, yeah,
You're letting good stories fall to the wayline because you keep trying to push the CGI nonsense that you can't do well. It's okay.
yeah, and then, like your movement's not better than Kung Fu Panda. That's a standard to me now.
Mm,
Kung Fu Panda's fight scenes was fire.
you telling me?
Like you can't even be Kung Fu Panda. Stop it.
You telling me? You know how many times as a college aged man I hit rewind on Tai Long breaking out of prison because I could not believe what I was seeing. I could not believe what I was seeing.
You think nah, Tylon breaking out of prison was like, bruh, I forgot I was watching Kung Fu Panda.
A
And
children's
it
cartoon.
and it was the best. I woke up, I said, oh, Kung Fu Panda. I went to when that movie dropped. It was like a summer. It
Yeah.
dropped in the summer.
Mm.
I'm gonna get let me just go. It's Wednesday. Let me go to the movie theater by myself, Aventura. I walk out, it's 10 o'clock. I'm watching the movie. I said, dog, this movie was gangster.
The Furious
Oh
Five blew
my.
Tai Long off the bridge. The rope comes around.
He didn't get
He's
you
not.
everything. Oh no,
What?
yeah, no. I said, dog, let me go buy me a leopard right now, fam. Like that, dog, bruh.
Shifu standing at the tower. Lightning strikes.
And
Tai
he's
Long's.
right there. And the set piece, dog.
Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah. That's it. We done. We gotta wrap it up,
that, but
man.
no, and on a high note of like Kung Fu Panda, if your standards are not Kung Fu Panda, you're not ready for prime
Y'all
time.
not like, and then and then I say this, give it to China. China understand CGI. Y'all
They
see
do.
some of
They do.
some of the CGI films from China is no, it's
They do.
serious. Give
Yeah,
it to China.
they're taking it very seriously.
They're coming for you. Like Daw said at the game, like, yo, y'all didn't even acknowledge me. I heard the Kaiba music, man. Phantom Blade Zero is made by the guy he made a mobile game and converted the money into the game that you're gonna get right now. And people are telling me like, no, it's actually sticking. It has legs, just like Wukong. We thought it didn't have legs because it was,
Hmm.
but it has legs.
And he keeps telling us every interview it is not a Souls like.
Very clearly, he said my inspirations were Ninja Gaiden, not. And then when I saw it, I said, yo, this is a new Ninja Gaiden,
Hmm.
and I'm afraid it might be better than.
We'll see.
We'll see, but
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the highs and lows, the emotional things. It may have looked like Jory and I were arguing. We weren't. My anger was strictly towards
oh
his
no, that
previous
was
favorite company.
absolutely yeah. Previous favorite company. No, I'm in love with 2000 Xbox, and that's what that's what I'm hoping that this would happen. But it's a very different Xbox, very different climate, very different set of rules. I'm just hoping this is a perfect time for someone else to spawn a new. It happens in history.
Yeah.
Civilizations collapse, so do companies too.
Yeah, and I think the important thing to take away from all that is like we have to start addressing the idea of these people in power failing upwards. Of like, oh, I already ravaged the film industry. Let me go head over to games. Oh, games is done. Let me like
Yeah, that's pretty
let's
much what they
start.
do.
Yeah, like let's start. Like again, like you said, because you have the money doesn't mean you have the vision. Always, that's not how these things work. So that being said, I am Antonius the Gamer, Super SSS rank. We are the Press Start Select podcast. Please make sure to like, comment,
And
subscribe. We are
subscribe, and
on our
please.
way to 1,000, at least 1,000
No, no,
followers.
no, no. Let's dream big. 5,000
Oh,
subscribers. Let's go
don't
for it.
don't let me
Let's go for it.
say what I have in mind. I'm
We
just
want no, we want 10K.
I was gonna
Right?
say 10K would be my
We
number.
want we want 10K subscribers because we want to be able to give you our raw takes because we really care about what's happening. If I have to learn finances to come back and give you the digital foundry version of how much money they spending on certain things and where it's going, I'm gonna do it because we love you, man.
Yep.
We
We're passionate
appreciate you,
about
man.
it.
We appreciate you, man. We're passionate about it. We came together because we were going crazy because of these foolish decisions. As you can see here, we showed a lot of that passion now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
So
go ahead and feel free to subscribe.
yes. Subscribe, share, comment,
Share,
like.
please share, comment, like,
Yeah.
comment. We want to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
That was a
Absolutely.
very, very great question that he asked.
I loved it. I told him in that
Uh,
comment, I'm like, I was like, hey man, thank you for the suggestion. This was a great topic. We will
We
talk
we
about
need
it
to we need
next
to
show
have an
for sure.
we need to have an honorary award for, like, yo, this is at towards the end of the year. Like, yo,
Mm,
we have an award ceremony. We want to shout you out. XYZ. Boom.
I'm
We do.
down.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I say it all the time, like at least to the people who are commenting regularly, right? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
look, we're here for the discourse. This is not just us talking to y'all and y'all listening. Like my goal for this podcast is like we want to build a genuine community of like
Genuine community with respect, of course.
over yeah, of course, respect, but like just something where it's like it's not just we're the teacher, you're the student. It's like no, like let's have this thing put us onto something. You know, like I would love
Mm-hmm.
to learn something through the comments through some of these
Yep,
people.
yep.
So
Even if I sound ignorant and I don't know what I don't know what I'm talking about. Yo, I work for Microsoft. You got your wrong idea about Satya Nadella. Well, okay, please let me
yeah,
know.
let me know.
Because
We'll
what I'm
revisit it.
seeing,
From the casual eye.
you're looking
Whoo!
like mind's eye. Hmm.
That's a bar. All right, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
yeah.
we out.
Wow, we are.